psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden symbols and messages, as well as all the lyrics of all the pop rock songs. And they all sing the same refrain. It's fun.
This is a special request. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensibilia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.
Welcome to the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your co-host, Mitch and
And I am your host, Adam Dunn.
No, Adam Dunn will be here in about 10-ish minutes.
Yeah. Okay. 10-ish minutes in Adam time. Turn your sound down on your computer, Mitch.
All right.
Slacking.
Right.
How many years have we been doing this, and you still have to be told to turn the sound down on your computer?
The echo makes it sound like a bigger room.
No, it doesn't. There's no echo. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, 'cause it was playing.
No, I can add reverb if I want to, but we don't.
No.
Because we're not in a big room. We don't want to sound like in a big room. We're not. We're here in a little room. My living room.
Your living room.
And Mark Rose just walked in.
Mark Rose in the building.
We have Steph Doug. You can't see Steph.
Running security. Did you get my message the other day, Stefan?
Yeah, this morning.
This morning. Well, they can't hear you, so you got to either talk on the mic or...
Yell?
You know, you can't yell. You can't yell. You can come talk. Do you want to put your gi on?
No.
Stefan is unofficial Adam Dunn Show security, and I messaged Stefan about recruiting security. Are we live on this one?
We'll be in 2 seconds.
About doing security for this year's ADSI event, which we're just starting to talk about. So I'll put you on the spot here and make you say yes, because you can't really say no when you're on the show.
Is there money involved?
No, I made that very clear that there's no money involved. No. Well, basically,
That's live now.
well, this mic's live. You don't have to sit next to me, buddy. Go sit on the chair, and then you can talk into the mic. Yeah, basically, this year we are making it bigger. Last year we had about 30 competitors. This year we're going to have 52 competitors. And then we're going to, as last year, it's just very limited. We don't want people coming and going. We don't want people who aren't invited or involved to come. We are going to take.
Can we not do the huge fucking bus in
We don't
a
need to do
huge
that this
public
year.
family neighborhood
don't
then,
need
and
to
not
do
make
that
it
this year.
obvious that there's 50 stoners coming off of a bus billowing with smoke clouds out of it?
So that's not going to happen this year. This year we're just going to announce the location to people, but we're going to so many people want to be there some way or another, so we're going to find ways for people to volunteer, get them access to the event, access to the herb, and be able to be there. It's quite a lot. I don't know. I'm going to have more
Down
fun
with
this
that.
time.
I'd be honored.
No.
I'd be
Good.
honored to-
All
honored
right,
to
pull
volunteer
the
for
team
you,
together.
Mitch.
Yeah, you got to see the things that he has upstairs now on his, because he's got we have these like wood pillars and the rock
grips.
pull-up bar, right?
Yeah.
But he has these like
finger pull?
these grips now that
got
are
the
pretty
eagle
much
talons?
like no, they're like
Yeah,
sleeves.
no,
They're like sleeves of a gi that hang around the top, so you can like pull on them and like try to do pull-ups while you're like pulling on someone's sleeves. It's impossible, dude. I mean, it like burns your hands.
Oh, yeah.
When you try to pull on them because of the fabric of the gi, it's not easy.
That's
Shit.
good. That's
Gives
good.
you
You
these
might
crazy
need that in
calluses
case
on you.
in case we get attacked by
Someone in a gi.
Yeah, if Hoist Gracie shows up and tries to break into the party, you throw his ass right out.
Yeah, right. No.
Chat room, yeah, I'm sick as fuck. I'm actually getting over a cold.
You're
It's
not
just all
sick
in my
as fuck.
nose.
You are such a whiny little baby.
Chat room said I sound sick as fuck. I said I'm not sick as fuck. I'm just getting over a cold. It's just in my nose. If you didn't catch that, the champ vapes now.
Well, no,
Vape champ, yes.
I'm trying to
You're-
quit cigs though. It's not. I don't plan on doing this forever either. But it does help me cut back on the amount of cigs that I've been smoking.
Sure.
And then eventually, I'm just not, because there's not much nicotine in here. It's only like 3%.
Nope, exactly.
So I'm hoping that
Vaping like a champ.
once I can get past the oral fixation of like having a cigarette when I'm driving, after I eat, after a bowl or whatever, we should be good. But cigarettes are bad for you.
So,
Sweet.
Steph Dig, don't do that. You're an athlete.
So-
Are you still on the show? You're staying on the show?
Yeah, I guess
So how was your week, bud?
It was good. It was good. We just did another drop of 4 different fire flavors into Kind Love. I don't know what's going on. Somebody's probably. I bet you somebody's phone's ringing. Bet you. Did you just get a text message?
No,
I heard it in my headphones.
Nope, I heard it too, but that's not what's going on.
But no, yeah, we just did a nice fire drop at Kind Love of some rosin. There might be some new ice wax things in the works for Extracted.
You know what I realized we never say?
Huh.
We never say, because so many people who listen to the show working in grows right now. We never let them know, oh, it's your e-cig that's interfering with the mics. It's your cheap Chinese. When you ripped it. Oh, no. That's unfortunate. We never let them know how they can get on the Extracted train.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can reach out either to Mitch at sales@darkhorsegenetics.com or reach out to me at ryan@extractedcolorado.com. And we do medical processing. We work on splits. We do wholesale.
All right. Enough of the commercial. I was just trying to.
But no, yeah, the week was good. It was, it's been nice. There's been like some nice days this week, so it hasn't been like bitter cold. Hopefully, some of the snow in my backyard will melt, so I can clean up the 50 pounds of dog shit that are out there.
I got shit in my backyard.
Dude, it just layers and then it snows, and then it layers and then it snows. So I'm going to invent a thing that's the width of your backyard. That like
is it called a tarp?
No, you have like a little entrenchment, right? And you dig this little entrenchment in your yard, and you put this little tray in it, and then this thing just sits on your fence pretty much, and you pull it from one side of your fence to the other, and it connects, and then it just and it brushes all your dog poop into this bin, and then you just have to pick up the bin and dump the bin into a trash can or whatever.
Sounds great.
It's going to be fucking awesome when you have 50 pounds of shit out back. It's going to be huge. We're going to connect it from the fence to the fence, put it on a pulley system, and it's just going to go and push all the poop in like one little spot. And you just come through, dump it out, and you're fucking golden, dude.
That's it.
It's newest invention, Extracted 2.0, poop extraction.
Poop extraction.
How'd you get the rig? I like it.
Oh, this is my new bong.
This is your new bong.
Bong.
My bong. Can I hit it?
Yeah. Let me pack a freshie for
Hell
you. This
yeah.
actually worked out pretty cool.
You traded some piece of machinery.
I got into a fight with some people on Facebook
With
about this
a piece
whole
of machine?
Patriot thing.
Oh,
And I was like, dude, whatever. You don't even have. They didn't have a gun. And I was like, I do have a gun. And let me tell you, I don't even fucking use it. As a matter of fact, I'll trade my gun for a bong. And I put that out on Facebook. And hey! And I was able to trade my gun for my Remington shotgun for this nice hops tube and another piece.
Oh, that thing was so nice.
It was a sweet shotgun stiff, dude, but I've shot it 3 times. I've already ripped this bong like 200 times, so way better. I'll slide.
And there's I can pull up. Well, there's one.
And
here.
moreover, I got 2 pieces. I got about like $800 worth of glass. So if I sell one of the pieces, I could buy a much better shotgun like that. Like I already saw one that has a sweet tactical grip. So
It was like hand carved with it was an over under, right? So
it was an old school Western shotgun, dude. But this is a new school fucking bong, and it's gonna come in way more handy than a gun. And yeah,
Use it a lot more.
what's that?
You could use it.
That's what I'm saying. I've already used.
Oh, hey,
it
show host.
more than 10 times. Oh, look who's here. Should we
Look
start
who's
over?
here. Practically every one of the top 40 records on the top 40 record hour. Yep. Well, Adam's here. That's good.
Adam's here. We can do the show
We can now successfully do the show in my living
perfectly.
room.
I'm ready for news.
I'm gonna rip
Pull the
this.
trigger on.
Speaking of news. Real quick though, I have to say, new season starts tonight. Always Sunny. New season starts tonight.
You must be going nuts.
I watched, and they just released
the only
last
reason he's
season on
home.
Netflix last night, and I've already watched through it twice.
It's the only reason he's home right now.
Tonight, new Always Sunny. Just saying.
Wow.
New York to officially launch medical marijuana program on Thursday. State officials will formally launch New York's medical marijuana program on Thursday, and at least one city pot dispensary expects to be ready. I thought they all had to be ready. New York State medical marijuana program is scheduled to launch on January 7th, just 18 months after Governor Cuomo signed the Compassionate Care Act. Health Department spokesman James Placitrus sent in an email to reporters late Monday afternoon. More information and details on the program won't be released yet. Columbia Care, one of 5 companies licensed to grow marijuana in New York, announced Monday that its Union Square dispensary plans to open Thursday. Other dispensaries planned for Murray Hill, the Bronx, and Queens
Bill Murray's Hill?
are expected to open later in the month. While state officials had previously indicated that medical marijuana program would launch in January, they had not provided an exact date or released any information on the number of doctors certified to prescribe the drug.
Me a favor.
Yes.
Can you turn your mic the way that I put the mic so that people can see your face? Thank you.
Like that?
Either direction. It's just
Okay.
Up is a real big face blocker.
This one's a real book. Page blockers. The law requires that patients seeking medical marijuana first be certified by a state-approved physician and then register with the health department and obtain a registry identification card before being allowed to purchase the product. The lack of information has raised alarm among medical marijuana advocates who feel the system may be too restrictive and difficult for patients to navigate. We're looking forward to seeing the additional information about details about the program, said Julie Netherland of the Drug Policy Alliance. Patients in New York have been waiting a long time for the day when they can legally purchase medical marijuana. We hope the program rollout goes smoothly and that patients will finally have some relief from their suffering. So what do you think, bud? Dispensaries in New York.
Amazing, right?
Doing it up.
Can you believe it?
Not really, but it's until it actually is for real.
Right.
You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
They're open. They're open.
You weren't here
Tomorrow,
last year
they're
to do, or
I know,
last
but
week to do
Like to
news,
see the
but,
weed.
but Delaware just decriminalized too. So I
Yeah,
mean,
but that's different than opening a dispensary.
oh, right.
Yeah.
But it's
Decrim is a
still
lot.
a step in the right, and technically, Delaware is a medical state. I think they just
Right.
don't utilize it, right? So, it's everything, man. Steps in the right direction. It makes me happy to hear whether it's a dispensary or whether it's Oregon's 250 dispensaries, or yeah. I mean, like
Well, how about some bad news?
okay.
Judge tosses lawsuit by marijuana credit union seeking federal approval. A judge dismissed a lawsuit Tuesday by a credit union that serves Colorado's marijuana businesses that was seeking federal approval. U.S. District Judge R. Brooke Jackson said federal law prohibits marijuana and that giving approval to a fourth quarter credit union would be breaking the law. I feel like that's not true. I guess I'm not technically a judge. He is.
Good
so
cloud,
he probably
good
knows.
cloud, good
That's a good cloud.
That's good.
Check out the kids' cloud because the kid vapes now.
Oh,
the
no,
gym.
I saw that.
You love it, right?
You need an extension cord for that thing?
Yeah,
need a-
that's what he had to go get the power
You need a
strip
power
for.
strip for that little tiny
No,
thing.
I needed a power strip for the fucking 9 pieces.
The
of
majority of
electronics.
marijuana businesses are cash only, and the credit union challenged a decision by the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City that it could not take deposits or issue credit. The credit union was chartered by Colorado in 2014, but several marijuana businesses are concerned over robberies because it is cash only. Recreational marijuana use was approved by Colorado voters in 2012. Sales began in January 2014. The Federal Reserve argued money from marijuana businesses should not be allowed into the central banking system because the drug remains outlawed on the federal level. Well, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, money from selling pot is
Okay.
totally
So
illegally
look,
is going
look,
into the
look.
central banking
This is
system.
That's what saves the banks.
this is
Yeah.
my stance on that, and it's
I was
always
actually just thinking yesterday about when I used to go to the counting room at the bank with money that stank like weed, and no one ever gave me a problem when I asked them to change me out for hundreds. Of
course, the
they
feds-
never did. And I don't mean like recently in Colorado.
they will not allow us to use a bank. However, every single state employee that gets a paycheck, be it in cash or be it in a paper paycheck form, gets the federal taxes taken out of that paycheck. Not to mention, that is the highest taxes that is taken out of the paycheck. However, so technically, okay, this money is illegal federally. We can't put it in banks because it's illegal.
But they can take
But
their
they can
taxes out
take
of
their
it.
tax cut out of it, which, if you ask me, is federally laundering money. But whatever. They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. If you hit news, I'm going to do whatever I want. Did you see this one?
Yeah, I did actually.
You saw that one?
It's a lot of weed.
That's a lot of weed, dude. That dude especially
Yeah.
should know better.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
Where's news?
I'm not putting it in.
That's
Obviously,
the point.
we were saying we
I was
need the
doing
news.
it that. That was tasty.
We need the news.
It's Adam's cup edgery.
Yeah.
California drug deputy caught with $2 million of marijuana.
Was he a drug deputy before or after?
Pennsylvania bust. I think before.
So he was a narcotics agent.
Yeah.
A drug. Okay.
A California
Wasn't sure it was
drug
after the fact,
task
like,
force
now you're a
officer
drug cop.
was caught in a $2 million marijuana bust across the country in Pennsylvania. York police busted a trio of drug traffickers with almost 247 pounds of marijuana in the car and $11,000 in cash. York County District Attorney Tom Carney said at a press conference the 122 packages of marijuana were worth $2 million, he said.
Come on, dude.
Behind piles of marijuana bags spread across 4 tables, Carney said a California deputy sheriff was among the 3 caught trying to smuggle the massive amounts of marijuana into the state.
The sheriff.
The deputy sheriff, yes.
Okay, so this
Christopher
reminds me,
Markeith, 37, was a drug task force agent for at least 3 years for the Yuma
worth
County
$500,000.
Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
and traveled on
Mountain
vacation to deliver the marijuana. So he was like actively like on vacation from the sheriff's department.
Like
when
he was
did
working.
this.
He was just on vacation and on active vacation if you're a sheriff.
Probably
which
getting
means that they
paid.
can call you
Getting
at any
paid,
time.
yeah.
And this makes me think of so they're saying it was worth $2 million. So about
He
a
led
year.
investigations for at least 62 criminal cases, many of which involved marijuana.
A year ago, a old dispensary owner out of Breckenridge used to own Sunshine Organics, and he ended up doing the same thing, traveling across the country with like 300 some pounds of herb, and he got stopped and caught in like Tennessee or something ridiculous. But they gave him a minimum of 15 to 60 years.
Hold on, this is better.
How long is that guy going to go to jail for?
Let me just say this. Officers confronted the California deputy and his two accomplices after they tried delivering marijuana to a person in the early morning hours on December 29th. The York Daily Record reported, along with the massive amount of drugs, police also found Heath's badge and service weapon.
Fucking douchebag.
Cop with his badge and gun.
And like I said,
Smuggling
how
around.
long do you think he will go to
Of course
jail
you're
for?
gonna have your badge and gun.
But here's the best
That's your
part.
cover.
He's on administrative leave.
Of course he is.
So he's getting paid.
Paid leave. Nice guy.
I
Classic.
mean, dude, oh my god.
So even if that weed was $3,500 a pound, which is about the max you're going to get anywhere right around
They
now,
break it down by
that's
the gram, right?
$865,000. So they're
Yeah.
talking over $7,000
They
a
literally
pound.
just
They're claiming
they
it to
broke
be-
it down to gram price, and they said if this went out to grams,
sure.
it would be worth $2 million.
Yeah.
That's total worth. It's Pennsylvania. No more dab, stab, stabs. Is that our new thing? Just
Dab,
do
dab,
that right
dab,
on the
dab,
mic, and
dab,
then I'll read
dab,
the news.
dabs.
So Kansas is attempting to prove Colorado marijuana is wreaking havoc on the state. Last month, the federal government sided with Colorado in a lawsuit filed with the U.S. Supreme Court by Oklahoma and Nebraska, which claimed that our marijuana laws should be dismantled due to residual harm being caused across state lines. Kansas hasn't joined the suit, but its Attorney General Derek Schmidt appears to be gathering evidence that would bolster the case made by these states. This week, his office announced that it was sending surveys to prosecutors and law enforcement officials in an effort to determine how much Colorado cannabis is negatively impacting the good people of Kansas.
Fucking suck it, dude.
Ever since the 2012 passage of Amendment 64, which legalized limited recreational marijuana sales in Colorado, we've been sharing reports about, Westward's been sharing reports about the reaction in Kansas to the development. In March 2013, for example, an attorney there advised folks ditch their weed before they crossed into Kansas, and then a few months later, half of felony pot trafficking in Kansas was supposedly traced to Colorado.
So I think what sucks about this is, I mean, it's half right, you know? Like Colorado is making it easier for these states to get herb.
Wow.
Because it was it happening before?
And so what, also?
What I agree with that, and that's what I mean. So what? But it just because so much of it is happening. So much of it is leaving Colorado.
Holland had the same stigma for years. I mean, that's been the thing. It's been like everybody would go to Germany, jump on a train, go to Amsterdam, pick up some hash, stick it in some peanut butter, get back on the train. Something stupid like that. You know, I mean, there was a million little stupid things, but it was just like that. Always, of course, it's going to be because their laws suck. So basically, that's what I always blamed it. I blamed it on the fact that it's like,
Right.
you know, if you guys had your own thing going on,
You would have this
not
problem.
a single person would need to come up here
Right.
because you'd have your own thing. I mean,
Right.
that's
Right.
Just
News.
grow up. Like grow up.
Grow up, guys.
Just grow up.
You just gotta grow up.
I think this is good news. Colorado's marijuana success hurting Mexican pot farms, prompting switch to poppies. That's bad news, but there's actual definitive proof now from Public Radio International, which suggests that the price of for marijuana in Mexico has plummeted due to the liberalization of the U.S. pot market, especially in places where marijuana can be purchased legally, thereby reducing or eliminating the demand for weed coming over. Which is exactly the point you were just making, Adam. If they would just fucking grow up and legalize it,
Yeah.
problem solved. So there you go.
And they make
Two
money.
birds
And they
with
get to
one
make
stone.
some
And they get to
fucking
make
money.
money.
How good is that?
How many dispensaries in Colorado do you think are being blackmailed by the cartel right now?
0.
Are you sure? You really think that?
Yeah.
You really truly think 0? What about you?
I'm sure there's like two dumb guys who like got into some fucking
There's
deal
gotta
with
be
them.
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
Okay,
I
no,
don't
hold
think
on.
it's like they
Cartel
just showed
knocks
up.
on your door,
we give,
says, "I know what you do. Here's pictures of your kids, and here's pictures of where your kids go to school. I know exactly what company you own. You're going to pay me this amount of money every month, or I'm going to kill your family.
And
What do
then
you do?
I feel like they would. That's the movie Savages, first of all.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but that's
Yes.
any movie with a cartel. Any movie with a cartel.
News. Dog sniffs out $400,000 worth of marijuana hidden in a broccoli shipment.
Broccoli shipment. Oh, shit.
A drug-sniffing dog searching through broccoli found over $400,000 worth of marijuana hidden in a fresh produce shipment in Texas. U.S. Customs and Border Protection said a canine helped officers see this is 2,100 pounds.
Yeah,
That's
all,
a lot.
It's all fucking.
It's brickly.
reggae
It looks
swag.
like broccoli.
It's a lot of weed, though.
It's that beef and broccoli.
Brickly. It's brickly.
Brickly. See, this they valued at $415,000 though.
Yeah. Well, they understand the swag.
That's right. Yeah, they know how. So, but maybe the other stuff was really good.
Yeah, but nothing's worth $8,000
No, dude.
a pound right
Yes,
Where?
ADSI winners are.
That's true.
That's
Only
true.
ADSI
maybe,
winners.
Maybe that's what it was.
Possibly.
I don't know,
Shipment
man.
of ADSI winners was
So
spot-
how much pot is $2 million worth of pot
What, in like.
right now here?
In Colorado.
Like for that guy to be caught and say it was worth $2 million,
Thousand-
how much did he have to
1,000
have? 1,000 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's $2,000 a pound.
And they said and they said that he had like
pretty
what?
basic.
Said that he had 200 something, right?
News.
How do you
227.
Yeah,
Or
no,
247. Sorry.
that is totally too.
It's 4 times
there.
the.
Oh yeah.
4 times.
So we're just newsing it for a few more minutes. Actually, let's jackknife the news. There is more news, but let's jackknife the news. Let's see how
Whoa, we're
Adam's week
jackknifing.
was.
We're jackknifing?
How was your week, Adam?
A lot of trimming. Just fucking trimming. And my mom won't listen to the show. I'm not allowed to listen to the show when we
When
trim.
you're trimming. I don't
I can't listen to your voice.
I have to listen
Not
to-
twice, because I have to hear it. She has to hear it twice, and she has to hear me in the room. And
Right,
it
it's
just-
too much.
She goes nuts. Yeah. So, I want to. I'm always like, man, I should listen to my own show. Go back and hear some of the old ones and trim. But yeah, I just was trimming because it's all dry trim now.
It's
so
silence.
pretty much. No, we play music and stuff. Yeah, just put on some music.
Scowling, trimming.
You can't
in
put
silence.
visuals on. That's one thing. Never works.
Oh, of course not. Everyone's
Are you
watching.
trimming Are you trimming?
Dry trimming.
Right.
Hand just slow.
But it's
methodical.
cold where you're trimming, right?
It's cold.
Yeah.
Everything's cold.
It's cold, dude. I remember last time I was out there. It's
cold.
cold.
But no, that was my week pretty much. It was just like grinding away.
I really like that, by the way.
New Year's was very mild.
it, too.
No fireworks. I was out, I
You
was-
didn't blow anything up?
Nope.
Did you see that video
I
of
don't
the
really need to bring
million
any more
sparklers
attention.
or whatever?
That was actually
Million
really cool. No, it
sparklers?
was 100,000.
100,000 sparklers.
I was
Russian guy.
down with that.
Yeah, yeah. It was sweet.
Except for the fire after. It didn't look too.
They had fire extinguishers.
I understand.
And then
But
they
I
said
thought
that they
about it
couldn't
for
put it
here.
out.
I thought about it for here.
Was it just 100,000
And I was
people
like,
holding sparklers?
Ryan's
or-
house? We should do it here.
Oh, we should just do it
Hold
right
on,
here.
can
right?
we
Yeah,
light my house up like a Christmas vacation so that you can see it from space?
It was freaking pretty big.
Oh, I bet you
There you
that's
go.
our...
Who we got?
That's Cornbread Ricky, man.
Wow, they're on point.
Can you pick up the call, bud?
Here we go. Sounds like we're... Welcome to the Adam Dunn Show. Who we got? This is Cornbread.
This is Cornbread.
Nice.
Cornbread, what's going on, buddy?
How you doing?
Oh,
How you
thanks
guys
for
doing?
doing good, man. Thanks
man.
for calling in. At long last, dude. We've certainly been looking forward to getting you on the show for a long time, dude.
Yeah, a little apprehensive, man. Can't lie.
It
But
happens.
Looking forward. Yeah, we've been apprehensive, man. But after meeting you guys and how cool you guys were, it was kind of like we kind of got to do this.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, obviously, everyone knows you as the dude from Swamp Boys right now. Where I first heard of you was as the TK guy on forums, and right from the get-go, there was always a controversy about this weird Florida OG Kush. I don't want to dive right into that. I want to do backstory. I want to prep you for that. But man, talk about how you got into growing, how you got into herb.
Well, I guess that is probably the story. I moved to Florida, opened a tattoo shop in 1992, 93, right around the end of 92. I was looking for a sack of Danny. I asked a guy that was working in the same building as me if he knew where I could land a sack of Danny. He asked me what I knew about the Danny. I asked him what he knew about the Danny. And about 5 minutes later, he asked me if I had any spare bedrooms in my new house. And then next thing I know, we were growing.
Huh.
That was how I got into it. But I've been smoking herb and hanging with other dudes that grew for a long time.
And that guy had experience growing, or was kind of like starting up, or how deep was it at that point?
Oh yeah, he was very experienced, very good. I still use the same recipe he gave me.
Nice.
And so, what did you tell him when he asked you what you knew about the Getty?
Well, I'm from Miami, but I actually spent my youth years in Virginia, and I lived right across the street from a campground called Gosnell Park, which was the overflow campground for where the Dead would play in Hampton. So, like, for about 2-3 months of the year, we'd have fucking hippies and, everybody that followed those guys camped out at the house, all around the house. Not in our homes, but, across the street, tents, whatever.
Sure, the neighborhood.
Yeah, so that's where our drug culture, at least my particular drug culture, came from. And the first strain I remember smoking that was actually called a strain, had a name, was skunk. And that wasn't around. It came through with the shows. But the first strain I remember ever having in my life that a friend had and grew was an Afghani called Grandma. And she was pre-Soviet. He got her from a Vietnam vet guy through tattooing. And that's what I knew about Afghani, was that in Virginia, it was either, Christmas tree. If you're lucky, you got Afghani. And that's my experience with Afghani.
So that obviously led you to get started in your spare bedroom down there, and did it go great right off the bat, or was this sort of a learning process for you?
In Florida? Oh man, I think with everybody, the first crop's always the best.
Sure. Sure.
Then you have that downswing, and then just the legality of it all starts creeping in, and that's I guess where everybody finds out what they're made of. And it went good, man. And it's always been good. No trouble. Plant's been very good to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually the it's the law, or it's the neighbors, or it's something else that fucks you up, and the plant never gets a chance to. Sometimes, so some people, they don't even get a chance to get to that point of the plant fucking them up. You know what I mean? But I totally understand what you mean about the first round, because it's like that's a classic where I love when I watch people who start up, and they're like, "Oh man, look at they're giving you these numbers, and they're telling you you're like, okay, great." And then it's just like my cousin. My cousin has the exact same experience right now. He's on his second round, and he just has PM, and he's all fucked up, and he doesn't know what to do. And he bought a $1,000 dehumidifier yesterday, and 2 days ago or 3 days ago, he was, already telling me how he's going to work on he's on the third crop in his mind, you know what I mean? And now he's like running in circles, and I'm like, yeah, that's part of the deal, dude. You got to get used to it, It's like, you might have to not eat for a week because you had to go out and buy a dehumidifier because it's like $1,000 and you need it, you know what I mean? There's no messing around.
Yeah, growing's it's a tough sport, and I think the people that do well at this like that. They like the fact that it's tough, and they like the challenge to it, And as far as growing and popping off good ones at first, it's kind of good. It's kind of easy to be undefeated when you only have one fight.
Sure.
And you're taking in clones from some guy with broad mics or whatever. All the problems that the community seems to have.
Oh yeah.
That takes down guys with more knowledge than most.
Yeah. Now is no joke. You know what I mean? It's almost like we have plant AIDS compared to when we back in the day just had plant herpes, and we were all like, yeah, we got it, we're dealing with it, whatever, it's no big deal, you know what I mean?
It's like, whoa.
Now it's like, holy shit, I just lost an entire crop, or I should actually lose an entire crop if I want to move forward, and you have to kind of take the hit, or move house, or do whatever you have to do. But I've definitely seen some big players, especially around here. We've seen it with the russet mites and the broad mites just destroy people, and it's like, it's tough because certain strains never come back.
There's that feeling when someone asks you, like, yeah, man, like they pull you aside and they're being really honest, and like, I can't fucking figure it out. And then you're like, let me see it, and you're like, oh no,
it's terrible. It's like you don't want to give them the bad news, but you're like, fuck, I think you're really fucked.
You're like, want to burn your clothes instantly.
Yeah, no, and it's bad news.
That's funny that you guys mentioned that, because, that is really, as far as me and my partner Chrome, that was when we started making seeds, we've been making seeds for a long time, but when we started seriously making seeds, they were for us. They were because we couldn't trust, and I hate to say this, I love all my friends, but even our best of friends were slacking and coming up with all these problems, and oh, what's wrong with my garden? And like, couldn't even go to the fucking garden and check their garden out.
Right.
No offense.
Yeah, no, it's true.
We would make seeds and give them, say, check these out. They'd find these fucking keepers and like, here's some clones. But they got broad light. Fuck, that's pointless, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
We just insulated. We just insulated ourselves, made our own shit, started looking through it, and real talk, you only need one plant to do good in this thing. You need to find one plant and do it right, and, you know, if you can't get dropped off in the middle of nowhere with a white widow clone and do this, you probably shouldn't do this. Everything else is
right.
benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's part of that learning curve too. You know, I mean, it's like, and I think it's the best. I mean, for all of us, it's the most fun part is growing is putting down new seeds and not knowing what's going to happen exactly, and then watching it develop. And you know, of course, you're going to have stuff that sucks. I mean, that's part of the game. But you know, you are going to get a keeper here and there, and then those things. It's amazing too how, like, you know, you think you got the one, and then 3 runs down the way, you're like, you know what? This stuff ain't all that. I don't know what happened to it. Like, it was fucking killing me for a second. So things change with crop to crop, especially that first to second one on the same. When you put down a bean and then you take a cut off of that, it's like you're better off flowering that cut first, because that's what you're going to be flowering in the future anyway. Because that first one, when you pop it and you go, oh my god, this is so awesome. A lot of times it doesn't transfer to the cut. You know, the cut just kind of is like a weak version of the original, which I've seen that a lot too.
Yeah, yep. And you need to know I like what you said. You need to know what you're going to be working with for real, not what you just created for months.
Yeah, and that first one, it has a tap root. It's fucking a special plant, of course. It's gonna, it's gonna go dig a little deeper. It's gonna throw out maybe a little more weight. But then when you do those cuts, sometimes they just don't root so hard. Like the plant doesn't have it in it to just throw down a ton of roots. It kind of other ones are just monsters right off the bat, and you're like, holy shit, this thing just in 4 days it's throwing roots, and the other ones take 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. That's not it just doesn't show you much vigor. So at that point, you're kind of like, well, probably should toss that one, but most people don't, because it's like it's a sour or it's something that they're like, oh my god, I can't get rid of it, And you're like, all right, well, just suffer then, instead of just keep trying new shit.
Yeah, well, as good as gardening can actually be, I see a lot of people suffering over, I don't use the word hype, but like, popular strains of like OGKB. That concept, I don't even understand that. That's not even a plant. Try even like putting together a personal stash with that clone. But a lot of people love it, and they'll suffer.
Yeah.
When there's much better plants out there that actually grow. So, I don't know. I find that weird.
Yeah, no, it's. I know people who have literally they'll keep this like it's the first plant they grew, and it kind of sucked, but because it was the first plant they ever grew, they kept it. Oh man, it's the first, And I was like, it sucks, They're like, why are you even keeping it around?
Special about that.
They're like, but it's the first, And I'm just like, you got to go. My God, that's like, okay, great, but might have been the first.
That's expensive nostalgia.
Yeah, and it's just taking up room. I mean, and nowadays with plant counts and things like that people have to worry about, it's like you really got to be selective of what you're keeping around. There's no point in keeping around a bunch of stuff that's mediocre. Just keep moving.
Or, there's almost no point in something that's not going to perform. We were talking about it when we were at Emerald Cup. Like, you got to start, especially as you get bigger and bigger, like...
everything makes a difference, too. And when you're doing large-scale production stuff, people get, obviously... people tend to gravitate towards all the big yielders or whatever, but if you have it's so depressing when you get a crop down and you think about what you could have done like in the same amount of energy in the same space. You're like,
oh yeah,
why did I do that? And that you don't want to do that on a large scale, because that's when
you can do it a couple times and then the finances kick in and tell
Yeah.
you that it's not going to work, man. You know,
Sure. If there's a bottleneck of product because people don't want it, then it doesn't matter how big the plant is when it grows. What's the point? You know, I mean, you rather have. That's why people tend to go with those, guaranteed winners, because they know they love that, that low yielding strain, but they can get rid of it all, of course, too.
Right.
You know? So it's a line it's got to follow.
So we got chat room questions coming up. Ricky, I don't know if you want to deal with any of these. It's up to you. But questions about some of the lines that you work with on Swamp Boys, what your favorite Swamp Boy strains that you have out right now are, and about the Georgia Pine and the Orange Blossom Trail.
Yeah, I'll take some questions. Nothing to hide.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess those are basically it. First, what's some of your favorite stuff you got out there?
Oh man, that's such a hard one, man. Because I try to be responsible and grow and smoke as many of them as possible. But the ones I gravitate to,
Sure.
and this is just on a smoking sense. This is for smoking. This isn't as a grower. This isn't as a Lately, honestly, the Tina Danza and the OBTK and the Mojito, all three of those plants and the product they put out, all the phenotypes, they're magic to my person. They make me feel very good, very happy, and that's the goal, man. So those are the ones I gravitate to smoking wise. Also, Legend of Zelda. She's incredible. She kind of does. I don't like to use the word grail because we're always looking for something better, but she fits the bill for me personally.
What about her?
Yeah. She puts out. She makes me feel good, and she's gorgeous. That's usually plants are missing one of those. So those are the ones lately though, the OBTK. My homie gave me a fat jar of that at Emerald, and a big jar, and I went straight through it, man. I just went straight through it. Couldn't get enough. That's, in all honesty. As a grower, the Gills Mills is probably the best plant I've ever grown. And that's not telling everybody to go out and buy Gills Mills seed. That's just my experience.
Sure.
Fits the bill, the way I grow, the way, the footprint I like to fill. She comes on late, so it gives me a lot of time to do stuff with her before I start pushing her. And the Mojito, I've heard, she's a personal favorite of mine, and a lot of the growers and breeders I respect and that we've given flowers to enjoy, they seem to have done something to them enough to make them really seek her out, you know what I mean? So that tells me something, And I could talk forever about them, but I don't think anybody wants to hear me ramble on.
I think they love it, man, but they're all loving it. So another question, just in general, if you could give us any backstory on your males. Sorry. On your OBT. On your males, your OBT, and the GP.
Well, the Georgia Pine is Killer Queen G13 to Williams Wonder. I could tell you the reason I chose the male. What actually even went looking for a male in those seeds was because the female, it's hard to find a bushy plant that's, in my experience, a bushy plant that's actually potent. Most of the bushy plants that I've grown, I'll just give you a good generic example. Green crack, a nice bush, that's a bushy plant. It's weak to me. It has like, 15-minute fun high, not life-changing high, All the plants that I gravitate to, that I like to smoke, are the older, sicker, long, unstable plants. So, to me, the obvious thing is to bring the smaller plants to the bigger plants, the plants with a nice body, try to fix up the body on the potent plant. That's why I went looking for a male in those seeds, is because the females from those plants were bushy and super potent. The male I ended up finding was no bush, but it still had the branching. That's the best I can tell you on that plant. That male puts out fat pollinated bud till about day 70, where most of the males I've ever used kind of like bust their nut and die off really early. This plant just kept going and going and going to the day like the room came. So the days the room come down, this thing's still going. So it adds yield and doesn't take from potency. And in my experience, it hasn't taken away from the turk from the females. That usually is what we're trying. That's what you're going for. You're playing with the female, and you're trying to not recreate her, but you know more about her than you do your male until you've smoked several strains and different phenotypes from that male. You don't know anything about it except for what's terp, about stem rub, and the shape. Did you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, we've all said like you could reverse it if you wanted to, and like smoke it that way if you want to run through those kind of procedures. But for the most part, no. Most people don't get a chance to kind of smoke or get to any. I mean, sometimes you get visual, like you have trikes, so you're like, okay, that's good. We're seeing trikes develop, and if you leave your male in the room like you did, obviously, if you're going to let it go 70 days, then you'll see. What I always tell people is, because a lot of times people take those males way too early. They don't actually let the chance to even see what develops, and you can really see a lot more at the end because it may not be dense like bud, but you'll see the actual shape of the bud that the male would have produced if it was a female. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like you do get that.
That is, since I think that's of the utmost importance.
Yeah,
and really, although we're doing indoor breeding, we've done outdoor breeding too. But like in nature, the males don't take off after they've done their job for somebody to make money off seed. That's not how it works. Right. They sit there and die. So why not?
Well, plus
duplicate nature?
Yeah, and plus keeping them around. I mean, the thing is, when you keep, because the males become your most important part of your breeding program, really, compared to everybody's trading around the different clones, and you're picking up different females, and you're picking out selections and going through them. But the males, it's just kind of like anything. You're tried and true, and you're testing new ones all the time. But for the most part, it's really like keeping a mom of keeping a father, let's say. Around is even harder for a lot of strains that I've had, where like at a certain point they're just like stressed beyond belief because you're keeping it on 18-hour program for years on end, and those things tend to be very they like to show you that they're ready to just do it, and they'll start flowering out, and you have to get rid of them and keep taking new cuts off of them. And I've had some that just started bolting all of a sudden out of nowhere. Like for years they were pretty stable, and then all of a sudden it was like, "No, I'm done." Like you better come up with something new. So I was like, "Shit." Do you ever have that though with like certain males that just kind of like don't work after years of trying to of consistency?
Yeah, of course, man. That's what I was saying with that Georgia pine male. It seems to live out a life longer than any other male I've messed with. And in all honesty, it's the male. I'll have that thing for the rest of probably the rest of my life. And it might be the easiest plant I have going.
Nice.
And that says something too, like the way we cut this thing back is ridiculous. And it's a monster, man. And I'm pretty proud of that plant. Pretty proud to have picked that plant to use.
Yeah, and a lot of it's all tactile stuff. You know what I mean? So you're just sort of kind of throwing things at a certain point. You can sit there and do your Punnett square and try to get all technical about it. But the reality is, nothing follows an exact number or an exact sort of formula unless you're taking it next level. But we're all in that zone where we kind of it's just to me it's just the experience of working with the same plant over and over again. So you're like,
that's it. It's intuition and experience. Everybody has their own little style because everybody has different experiences in life, much less growing. But really, it's not what other people think of you or what how good your company is or who had the fucking push first. It's really about the experiences that you had long ago with a plant, remembering that, holding on to that, and being able to test it up, especially when you're breeding, test it up against remembering what you thought was going to happen versus what really did happen, and being honest with yourself about that.
Oh yeah.
And letting things go that, you know, people might want, but you know better. You know, that's hard. That's worth a lot more than numbers and, you know, putting things down on paper and being all technical about breeding, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
more about an experience with the plants and over a period of time, not on a fucking forum having the cut for 2 crops and knowing the guy who gave it to you and seeing some cool pictures of it and saying, no, that's not that. That's neither here nor there. It's about the experience with it on a one-on-one level.
Yeah, I mean, with anything, it's like three cycles to me. It seems to be the kind of like learning curve. You know what I mean? After the 3rd cycle, I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get it. You know what I mean? Like it takes the first one's always just like, okay, that could be good luck, could be bad luck, depending on your cycle, how it went. Second one kind of reinforces, hopefully, whatever that was. But by the 3rd one, you kind of know if you're fixing your own problems and you're chasing your tail, or if it's just like the plant's doing what it's doing, and you can make that.
And you're
decision.
safe.
Yeah, and you can make the decision. All right, this thing sucks. You know, now I know it sucks, or this thing is a keeper, and then you know that should hopefully be about as many times as you need. But then again, you can still get surprised. You can still be like not seeing. Because there's some stability issues on some strains just because of the fact that it's a polyhybrid from some two polyhybrids, meaning you could have like 15 different directions for one allele, and that's like, okay, great. So now how are we going to chase all of these? You know what I mean? There's so many, and at the end of the day, it's going to be I just say just do it like a shotgun kind of effect and hit them with as many as you can and try to do as many combinations as you can. Because you might think it might be one direction, but a lot of times it's the opposite direction where you're like, oh no, you know, you got to take the, you know, forget it. You can't use like on a haze, for instance. If you use a haze female, you're gonna kind of be I think you're gonna have problems down the line. Whereas if you use a haze male, once you establish that haze characteristics you're looking for in that male, it's going to be way better in the crosses. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you'll take a male and it'll be dominant, and you'll lose. That's that haze thing that's the whole reason you use that female in the first place. But it doesn't guarantee that it's going to carry over. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Yeah. Whatever that meant.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
I'm actually picturing it all now, and I actually went into like a visual. You know.
Well, you know, people just like wonder like what's dominant and recessive, and that's kind of down to experience. That's not knowing. You can't just see that right off the bat. Like, oh, this plant's. It's the same as with like me and my wife. My wife's Swedish. My kid's blonde and blue-eyed. I'm dark. You know, I got dark hair, dark eyes. But my dad was blonde and blue, so that's where it all came. It's like it's in there. You know what I mean? And it pops out. Same with plants. Yeah. You don't know what's in there. You're just given here. It's, you know, here's your polyhybrids made with 3 different things that you don't really know the stability of on those, you know, and that's where it all kind of pops out. Especially when you're making crosses, not necessarily on that one.
Yeah, I guess that's all in doing the work and actually really looking at the plant and seeing it, rather as opposed to thinking, you know, this is what somebody said this was, and I'm going to make this. You know, that's good luck.
Yeah.
So somebody was asking earlier about nutrient line that you were running with.
Greenstone.
Yeah, Greenstone. People have questions about that.
Tell us a little bit about how long you've been working with that and what it entails, and is it an complete organic formula, or is it a?
No, it's not organic.
No. No, I mean, or is it leaning towards, or is it just like a complete synthetic? Or?
They have organic amendments, but
yeah,
the base is synthetic.
Okay. Where is it from?
They're based out of San Rafael,
right near.
Yeah.
Everybody's in. There wasn't a lot of people in San Rafael's a big spot was a big spot for nutrients and grow stuff back in the day, right?
It still is, man. The Bay is popping, man, and all.
Even
the Bay is a great.
Yeah, even when there was only a couple of nutrient companies, it was, it was interesting when you were in NorCal, you'd be like, see billboards for the first time for newts and stuff, and you'd be like, whoa, I'm here, you know what I mean? That's like, now they're everywhere. Now you see them all over here, everywhere. But back in the day, it was like the first time I ever saw like a nutrient company. And the closer you got to the Emerald Triangle, the closer the more, like, it was like, well, there's more signs for grow equipment and stuff than there is for anything else around here. I was like, this place must be killing it. It was awesome to see.
We were stoked when we moved to California, we were stoked just to not have to rent a moving truck or like a U-Haul just to get some grow equipment snuck into a house,
Right.
That's mind-blowing to us at that point, and much less seeing billboards for dab expos,
Right. Yeah, I remember also driving through town, and there was they had dropped off all the molasses. They had all these like big giant fucking things of molasses, and people were just rolling up with their jerry cans and filling up, and I was like, I just happened to be there like the first day they delivered it, and it was kind of going into the season where they're like, yep, everyone needs their molasses now, and I was like, fuck, they just threw a lot of molasses in this town, I was like, yep, they just buy it by the truckload, you know what I mean, and share it amongst everybody.
Yeah, the hills are neat, man. Yeah, the same thing goes up here, like these fucking huge brewers get cranking. You know what time it is.
Exactly.
So now the chat room has had so many questions, I can't even keep it chill anymore. We got to talk about the TK.
What is that?
So I don't know. I don't know.
Never heard of it.
I thought I knew, but now I'm really confused, right? So...
yeah, what do you guys want to know, man?
I don't know, dude. Like, I guess, first of all, there's a lot of old forum posts and this is the way I first heard about it, and then I saw the button, and I was like, there's no way these are the same thing. Everyone's talking about how, like, the triangle is the white, but then there's also the triangle kush or something like that, man. I don't know, can you just clarify that for everyone?
That would make me happy, man. I don't have to read any more misinformation like I've been reading for fucking years and years. All right, the white, my partner Chrome, he's the guy that let the world know about that plant. It did go around in Florida as the triangle, not triangle kush, just the triangle.
Mm-hmm.
But that was such a small group of people that are definitely not on the internet. Forums have nothing to do with anything. I just remember Chrome had actually mentioned it as the triangle, but it went around town and it came to me as the white. Before I met my partner Chrome, we actually met through that plant. But it is the white. The same crew, both plants come from the same crew. And what a lot of people don't understand about the history of TK and the white, and I think that they find hard. Growing in Florida in the 90s wasn't like growing in California or growing on OG in 2001 where everybody was like, oh, I did this. This is mine. So-and-so gave me this. We would literally lie to our friends about whether we were growing or not so they wouldn't rob us. When we'd drop off packs to a friend to sell, whatever, we would have to know who was going to be there. Like, it had to be an empty house. If somebody was coming over, you would stop. No one wanted to know nothing about nobody, and nobody wanted to know anyone knowing anything about them. So, as far as like where the strain came from and what the strains are called, we know the history as it to us, and I know other people have perceptions of reality that are reality to them, and I know those people. But to put it together for everybody, I don't know how to do that. I've heard other people telling the story, their versions of the story, and that's their version of the story. The way I got put onto this, kind of put onto this was I had an apprentice, the tattoo apprentice, that came to me one day and he told me, you know that kush that you always have? And I said, yeah. He said, they grow it out in California now. And I was like, yeah, I think I heard a friend taking it up to Silver Lake or something like that, or a friend of a friend. And he said, yeah. I was like, well, how'd you hear about it? He's like, I saw it on the computer. And I'm like, this is around when OG got started, Overgrowth site. I didn't even really screw with computers because I was busy growing and tattooing. And I was baffled. I was like, what do you mean you saw it on the computer? How the fuck did you see weed on the computer? Like, I thought that was AOL and porn. That was what computers were for then, you know? He's like, no, there's like a website where like people, show people, their grows and stuff. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. There's no way. So he shows me Overgrow, and I'm fucking blown away. I'm like, this is insane. But he proceeds to show me this little nub, and he's like, yeah, look, they call it OG Kush. I'm like, that does look like, it looks a little bit like a triangle, but kind of hairy, but, I could see it. So I got on Overgrow. And the minute I started posting pictures of the TK, it's like the whole fucking state of California came down on me like, fuck you and the whole state, you guys are fucking idiots, you guys, I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm a dog in this fight, like I'm not the state representative of Florida, but I do know what I know. And I know when I was on Overgrow, the first thing I was, everybody was like, oh, OG Kush, it's from California, it was started in 97. And I'm like, that's fucking odd because I was smoking it 5 years before that. So that's, and I wasn't really taking the fight to anybody, but people were bringing it to me like, fuck you, you're lying. And I'm like, lying about what, So that's how, we just have more experience with it than most of the people who think they are, that it's from them. That's really all there is to it.
So, I mean, we know from our record, right? Like from everyone we've talked to, it definitely got to California from Florida. There's no fucking doubt about that.
I'm just telling you, like prior to that being discovered.
Sure, no, everyone was defensive about it.
All the way when that, people was like, oh, well, they would try to like, well, what is this? And I would give them the best answer I could, and they would doubt me, and then 3 years later, figure out they were actually buying my fucking herbs. Then, you know what I mean? Like the proof backed itself up. I didn't really back myself up. You know what I mean?
So it would be interesting if we could connect it to our other Florida lines too, though. Because was it going around widely held, or was it pretty tightly held?
It was super tightly held. It still is there. I know guys in Florida who are dying to get the white clone. They're like, oh, can you get me the white clone? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Get up with a 16-year-old in Arkansas, man. You can get it. That's how Florida still works, man.
Exactly. It's out, dude. Don't even.
And I love that. They're like, they still fucking honor stuff. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that Florida obviously had a different, dynamic. I was living there. That's the last place I lived before I moved to Holland, and that was in 89, so there was some good weed there, but and that's when the Crippy was the only thing that you could get, you know what I mean? And that's where we were kind of like, okay, there's that, and that's about it. It was all import, you know what I mean? Everything else was Jamaican or something else, some other import weed.
But you remember the Crippy wasn't Kush, correct?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was Kush. It was darker, but it was good. It was definitely Affy based or something like that. And it was like the only weed that I could get around there that was decent, you know what I mean? But there was no real lineage that I could base it on, basically. But I definitely know that wasn't the Kush, but it could have been part of the puzzle, you know what I mean? That's how we looked at it. What do you think? So we're still at that. We're still at the. What do we think?
All roads lead back to Florida, man. On all the OG, like I'm gonna say it definitively. It definitely came from there. What it came from before then is the mystery.
Exactly. What Vietnam vet brought something?
Brought what over?
It's always that. It's always either a vet or it's some guy who's a traveler or something like that. I mean, it seems definitely Affy based for the most part. You know what I mean? There could be some.
So did you guys? I've listened one time. Somebody told me you guys had done a show about the Kush or whatever. So I had a group of guys who were taking on a crop, and we put it on the iPad and listened to it. Man, it was the bunker episode.
Oh right,
the legendary bunker episode. Yeah,
that was like one of the funnest days that me and my crew have ever had taking down a garden.
That must have been fun. That must have been fun, actually.
I mean, it was almost speechless. It was just all smiles, like, Right on. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
That was the start of the Gigax saga, right? Like the
Yeah.
very beginning.
Yeah.
The saga Gigax.
The Sagigax. Sagigax.
But I mean that was crazy for everyone because it's like even that whole crew doesn't. They're from Florida. They all got accustomed to it in Florida.
Who's that? The bunker guy?
No. The bunker guys had as it turned out in later episodes had nothing to do with OG. That was a broad claim that there was this dude growing in bunkers, cool dude, but had nothing to do with OG. But Joshy and Bubba and all those dudes, that was pretty legit. You know, to what we know, widely today, they're the dudes who put out OG Kush in California, and they all came from Florida and brought it from Florida.
I'll just say this right here on your show, man. My friend that gave me the TK, he's a friend of Bubba's. They grew up together. I never really hung out with I had a friend of mine actually go to Bubba in Colorado and asking some questions like, I guess it was maybe kind of like trying to like
Feel him out a little bit.
he was trying to feel me out.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That's cool. I get it, man. I'm a shit. If I was a fucking lead detective, I'd do the same thing. I'm not, but, I get it.
Right.
And, Bubba's version of this story, as far as the Kush goes, he's definitely, that's their perception of their reality.
Well, he brought it there for sure. We know that.
To Cali, yeah.
No,
But where
yeah.
he got it from is another
And
story.
then the thing is, we did meet the guy he got it from, and so maybe that's your friend.
yeah,
He's a little guy,
we've
right?
taken it a little further
small
than,
guy.
than we have on the
In
show.
stature. Small in stature.
Yeah, true, yeah.
A
I'm not positive we're talking about the same small guy, but yeah, he's a small guy.
Yeah, his name's he's an
You
A
probably
guy.
don't want to hear that.
No, they never do. They never want to hear that. That's for sure. But we can say that. We can say that. But no, for sure. And he basically gave us a little lowdown, and we were trying to get him to come on the show to tell it for real, so we don't have to like say it as double speak. But it definitely was, one of those situations where he came to me and said, "Okay, well, I'd like to tell you a little further of the story." And it was like, wow, this is fucking some dramatic shit. But we definitely want him to come out and talk about it because he kind of laid it out for us, which was cool. But it's still there's still a mystery. So it's like a classic. It's the never ending because of course there's a guy who died, and then once a guy dies, who knows who knows where he got it from in that sense. So we will have.
I remember sitting with the guy that gave me the TK, sitting in his house. We were doing bomb hits, and so we were getting right. And I remember him telling me that his buddy Berger had taken it to California and got up with his dudes from Cypress Hill. I remember him telling me that, and the only reason I remember him telling me that was because of the name Berger.
Right.
And thinking about, and the fact that, you better be calling me by my fucking name, and I better be like Cheeseburger or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? I like the fact that if I only was keeping it real and not being like, my friend, Billy Joe.
Yeah.
Billy Joe so-and-so. I was like, hanging out with one of my besties, and he's still keeping it fucking real. So I remembered that name. So really getting back to one of the reasons I've never really gotten up Bubba, and when my friend went to check him, and this, I wasn't there for this conversation, so I don't know if it exactly went down like this, and I'm curious if it did. But, he said he got up with homie and was talking to him and asking him questions, and that everything was lining up with what I had told him and what Bubba was telling him. But that Bubba had actually claimed to have made a couple other strains, and one of them actually was one I had made, and so...
Mm-hmm.
I just was like, well, shit, man, I don't know what's what. I don't want to be, like if people ask me to say something definitively true, I'd like to know the person I'm saying definitively true about is us. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I'd say the biggest...
But Berger definitely took that to California.
Yeah, he definitely took it there, and at the end of the day, we kind of also.
But we did just definitely connect the TK at OG, right?
I believe so.
That just definitely happened, right? Just to point that out for everyone.
So that's now back with all the other G's that we
Plugged in.
yeah. Okay.
And well, because the thing is that Matt might grow a little bit, but he's really kind of more the guy who handed it off to the other crew that actually grows it. You know what I mean? Because so there's yeah, so that would already tell you it's suspect as far as strain development, things like that, because that's not just like overnight shit. You don't just go like, oh yeah, and then magically, ba-ding, and that's kind of I think what it did happen was it was a bit more of a magical bean, I think, situation where you're like, oh great, so. How did you get Hermes thrown out on the original one ever? Because was it stable or unstable, or did it have a possibility of being an S1 and just throwing out a seed or two here and there? Did you ever notice that?
It's odd is I've never seen a TK actually Hermes,
Okay.
but I've never seen a TK pound without 3 seeds in it.
So you have seen some developed seeds here and there, like
Oh yeah,
like viable
TK
ones.
pound seed has at least 3 seeds in it.
Huh? Because
But I've never seen, and I'm hands-on in my gardens every day. I look at my plants every day.
Sure.
And I've been there fucking forever. And I've never seen her throw a banana, male flower, anything. She just somehow creeps off the seed.
See there, I just said a magic bean. That's like a magic bean comes out of it. So maybe because that could have been a situation where they grow it out there, 1 or 2 beans comes off, somebody grows them out, and oh my God, they're a breeder, of course, because that's how you breed.
All right.
No, not really, but
So
that's how you think you breed.
since we've made virtually no progress on the OG Dome project so far,
Well, virtually. We keep making more inroads, so.
can we just start with like a simple head-to-head of Joshy's OG and the TK?
That would be simple.
Yeah, man. I got dogs.
We need very little of it, and then we'll just do it. So that's very simple to be like, is that the same? Cool. Well, awesome.
There we go.
Let's
start with that. Yeah, that would be a good start. That would definitely
Cool.
That knocks out a whole chunk here and a whole
I
chunk
got
there.
fresh, I got cured, I got whatever you need.
I think we need just anything. We'll talk to the
We'll
scientists.
probably need like about a pound.
Wait.
I think.
Yeah.
I've been in California 6 years,
Yeah.
and I've never seen anything like TK grown by anybody here. Like, and all these other cushions they're nothing like it. And I've grown them all out myself. So that's I can figure if they're all S1s that came off those plants grown here originally.
Well, that shows you that there's some unknown traits there though too. If there's all that other
Exactly.
stuff, there's so much of variables. It makes it even more curious of how big this Pandora's box of genetics are of the original.
You could do the same thing with the S1 from Dog's Walk, and if you grew it out for 20 years and take it to another coast and do the same thing that's been going on with the Kush,
Yeah.
to see the same thing.
Yeah, the variables. Yeah, for sure. And the different ways people grow it, and the different nutrients and the expressions that are, thrown from those.
And the stuff along the way.
Yeah.
So everyone in the chat room seems to be asking about the Legend OG. Legend OG history now. Legend OG, all caps.
Legend OG.
I guess we're asking about the Legend OG, bud.
I can tell you what I know,
Sure.
and
The Legend
this
of
is
Legend
another-
OG.
this is a can of worms too, man. I don't know how much I should say as far as like, yeah, okay. I got the plant from my friend Schmo. He got it from a couple in L.A. I guess this couple opened the first or second. I'm pretty sure it's the first, but that sounds like a grand claim. But I'm pretty sure they opened the first dispensary in L.A. in around '96. And I guess he was bringing them some Kush, some Cali Kush. And they were liking it. This is the story I was giving, this isn't me.
Sure.
But, and this is a great friend of mine, so this is the B story. I guess they weren't happy with the Kush he was bringing them, and they asked him if he'd be willing to grow like some real Kush, whatever. And the Legend, whatever. That's what they were calling it, the Legend. He said, yeah, he got the tray from him and started growing it. Well, this couple was from Orlando. Same place Triangle's from. The same place Josh's OG Kush is from. So this plant actually has roots with the same plant. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's what's funny about the legend is it's got the characteristics of all the plants, even the bubba. And it seems like everything else is sick versions of it. From the bubba to the triangle to the fire to the, Does that help anything?
I think that's helpful for everyone. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna take a moment to do shout out.
I'm saying this thing is based on growing bubba, the actual bubba kush, and I didn't get it from bubba. I actually got that from California later. So I never, ever saw bubba kush in Florida until we got it from California.
Speaking of Florida, everybody wants to know about this strain UFO.
I got to ask somebody else. I have no clue.
No clue. Sorry, guys. They're just
Sorry.
they're just yelling Florida strains at us.
All right.
So
We messed with the triangle and the white and an old white rhino. That was really good. But it didn't have enough controversy to get famous on the internet.
yeah, no,
You need more controversy.
You need a good bit of controversy to keep it going. Everyone, now they're just mentioning everything they know that has to do with Florida.
Go Magic.
So we're going to do some shout-outs real
Yeah,
quick.
let's do some shout-outs. If you want to hang with us, Ricky, we'll bring it back after that. Pick it up from there.
So I just hang on the line, or
Yeah, just hang on the line, man.
All right, cool.
Thanks, bro. Since you weren't here, then
Oh, I'll do them all this time?
No,
Yeah?
I'll just start it off.
Big shout-out to Way to Grow.
See if you remember who's
Way to
taking
Grow.
over.
I guess we'll go to the webpage because they're on the bottom here.
Oh, you
just
need
click
no,
on
you're
sponsors.
supposed to
Boom.
flow like
No, Way to Grow.
That's it.
Number one sponsor. Holding us down since day one and holding down Colorado, really, the Colorado grow scene for just about as long. The best place to go if you just need your miscellaneous grocery store stuff. You can go now. They're doing the light up sale.
Light it up, boom, fireworks.
Yep, fireworks galore. But
Hortalux,
that's your
600
old bulbs exploding. That's why you got to go buy your new ones.
Go get your new ones.
Hortalux 600 for $70. Hortalux 1000 watt $60. The blue 1000 watt for $130. The blue 600 for $90.
It's a good deal, $60 right there.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
And candy.
I wonder if you can throw the 25% on top of that. Bam, that would be crazy.
I don't know, but when you're checking out, say Adam Dunn Show, they'll hook you up.
Might get a little discount. I don't know about the 25. It would be rough.
Yeah,
Give you-
and then yes, you can take candy before you leave.
I mean, can take as much candy as you want.
You have to
He
count
thinks
the
about it now
candy
'cause
as
he's the
part of
champ.
Discount.
Sure.
Because let's say you're
Okay.
going out to Way to Grow, and then
So your
you want to
25% is
stop at
straight candy.
Right, because if you stop somewhere and you grab a candy bar, it's $1.50.
Yeah.
Now I'm saving my money by eating a couple Milky Ways in the Way to Grow. Boom, that's like 40% if you ask me, plus the 25% that they already give you at the register.
So you're getting like 65% in your brain.
65% every time I go to Way to Grow.
That's a great,
Yeah.
great math. Great math.
Yep.
Well, speaking of candy,
Let's do the last one. This one's you.
Incredibles edibles, number one edibles here in Colorado, and moving around, moving on to. I heard about Nevada signings in Nevada, so soon
Nice.
to
I'm
be
actually
there.
smoking on some Incredibles extracts today, which is
Fire,
interesting
dude!
for
Last
me,
night
yeah.
I went to the Crab and Dabs for Dread, and it was pretty dope. Got to try some awesome extracts, but in their candy department, they've got I think 14 different flavors now. Who knows? I don't know. You can never keep up. They got a bunch of new ones coming through.
I saw they had one for Christmas too. That was like a peppermint bar.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Totally missed it. Fireberry was my favorite. That's a 300 milligram. They even got a 500 milligram, I think, now. There it is. A Mile Higher Mint, 500 milligrams. Not just the milligram, but the taste incredible, good quality products. All the ingredients are awesome, and yeah, like I said, they're killing it. There's something for everybody too. Those pumpkin bars crush.
Super
I got to get
good.
one of those.
You got it. And they have gummies also now. And pills. Boom. They're killing it. And then, of course, the shatter. You have your local grown. You have your... What is it?
Incredibly gross.
Incredibly
That's
grown.
what you want.
Incredibly
Black
grown.
label.
Black label. Of course you do.
Right on. Big shout out to Build a Soil.
Jeremy.
Jeremy is going to be bringing us the episode.
What are we doing here?
Not next week, not the week after, but the week after that.
Wow. What planning?
It just sounds funny. It sounds like he's talking like Regis Philbin.
I
Look, I admit it. Regis Philbin.
Hey, should we all talk like that to make you feel good?
Everybody should, yeah.
Big
Yeah, we
shout
should.
outs to Build a Soil. Your voice is all nasally. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I can tell.
So Jeremy's going to be doing our episode next week or 2 weeks from now?
Not next
3
week,
weeks.
not the following, but the one following.
So that's
that,
3 weeks.
The last one in January.
Long enough to grow a
Gotcha.
plant almost before he
Almost,
starts.
yeah. So-
Everyone start.
But, of course, check him out in the meantime, buildasoil.com. Put together some questions for him. You can hit him up through Build the Soil or through Facebook if you want any specific topics covered on the show.
You're going to hit him up through Facebook.
All right, why don't you do a shout-out?
Regis? You want Regis to do it?
Regis should do Mary's Nutritionals.
No,
Yes.
Mary's, but we skipped one, but we can do Mary's next.
We'll,
No, go
we'll
ahead.
come back
Mary's
to Dark
Nutritional is
Horse.
too serious to joke about, but I will do
Okay, go
the
ahead.
Mary's Nutritionals ad. So, marysnutritionals.com. It's your place that
Where's
you
Morgan?
can get.
Where's Morgan? Where Morgan?
Morgan's not here today.
Come
Again, this is
on.
too serious of an
He's
advertisement.
a serious actor.
To
That
do.
brings the serious
Hey,
light.
man, this helps sick kids, okay?
All right, stop yelling.
So, marysnutritionals.com. You can go there to get all of your CBD products, whether you are here in Colorado or any of the other 50 states, except for parts of Pennsylvania and parts of Florida. For some weird reason, you can't ship products to, but you can get everything from
See,
the
that's
CBD
the only problem with
patches.
Florida right there.
Yeah, right? There you go. You can't get it. But the CBD patches, the Charlotte's Web Gel, they have the pens, the Muscle Freeze, and then they also have some of the Remedy concentrated tincture. And then they also have a line for pets, the maryspetshop.com, which is also now part of Mary's Nutritionals. But the CBD is grown here in Colorado by good people that we all know. It's not crappy Chinese hemp paste to be used in your medicine or your kid's medicine. So whether you are here in Colorado or you are anywhere else listening, you can go to marysnutritionals.com and pick up your needs for CBD.
My mother-in-law just got a pen for her cat.
Oh, yeah, the little
Who's
so for the ear pen. Yeah, so they have those right here. They call it the Mary's Pet CBD Gel Pen, but it's it's a nice 50 pumps, accurately 1 milligram of CBD. You just put it in your pet's ear, and it's supposed to be really effective. So, again, marysnutritionals.com.
And, of course, big shout out to Dark Horse Genetics. Dark Horse is going to be out there. I'm going to be at the Dark Horse booth for the San Bernardino Cup second weekend. Come on by.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you'll be there. You're going to be squishing?
I might be squishing. I think I'm driving out, so I think I'm going to bring the press. So yeah, we'll probably be squishing. Stop by the booth and get some nugs squished.
Yeah, we're going to be beans. We'll have also all sorts of good fun. Come by the Dark Horse booth out there at the LA Cannabis Cup. Look for us. I'll get a booth number for you guys ASAP.
Don't forget to visit Jaw Farm and get your hoodies.
Yeah, get limited time Dark
Limited.
Horse.
Almost
Hoodlum
out.
hoodies.
Almost.
All right, let's bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it on.
We still got Cornbread on the line. He listened to us over the phone while we did all that.
I know.
Poor guy.
I feel sorry for people who have to listen to us to do that. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I was getting my info on.
good job. All right.
So, I mean, we definitely appreciate you covering the TK and the white. Now there's just being a lot of questions about, like, well, what is it like? What's the TK like? What's the white like? I'd rather get it from your mouth. Like, can you describe the white first for us?
What do you want to know about her?
I mean, what does she smell like? What does she taste like? What does she grow like?
That's a funny one, man, because I think the white could be one of the shittiest plants ever if you don't know how to grow. Like, it's not one. I mean, and I've seen people that really don't know what they're doing actually kill it with the white. It locks out and it's all super frosty, and that's usually pretty bland, hashy tasting. But the plant itself, the true plant, when grown right, has this honey, lemon, very lemony. I mean, you can smell the skunk in it, but it's not pure skunk. You know, it's like it's such a unique terp, and so prolific. But it is probably one of the most shit on strains when you're out there working. Not me personally, but I give it. It's so misrepresented so often because it looks so nice. But the plant there's a lot more to it than it looks. It has a really good high when grown right. I mean, excellent. Not bland like a lot of people think. I think a lot of people don't know the difference between and don't have the actual real cutting, you know, which is, you know, I hope they do. I'm not one of those guys who's like, that's not the real cut. But I see some white that's definitely green, you know, and that's not the white, you know.
Yeah, no, and I think you hit the nail on the head with that one, though, as far as, like, people growing it wrong or just, like, cutting it down, maybe just too nuded up and it doesn't burn maybe, but it's something like it looks so good and they just kind of, like, go for it when it's at the peak of visual.
Right.
They don't go for the terp profiles, and they're not really looking. So I've seen it a bunch of times. I've always been impressed, you know, like, wow, that looks really good. And then with the taste, I'm like, kind of like, it's hard to hit it. You know what I mean? Some people, they hit it hard on hydro, or it goes really well. You know what I mean? And then other guys do it on soil and miss everything possible. You know what I mean? And you're like, well, it is organic, but it don't taste very good compared to that other guy who was doing it all on salt newts and for some reason nailed it. You know what I mean? Just because it seems to be a little finicky, maybe.
I've only had a couple shops here that actually. All of the shops that have the white are like you said, oh yeah, it looks great, and then you crack the jar, and I mean there's nothing to it. It either smells too much like chlorophyll or too much like you said, like it hasn't been flushed.
Well, people want to harvest at 8 weeks.
Because it looks beautiful, it's perfect, it's nice and clear, and it looks like what the white is supposed to look like. But then I don't know what they do. It's a shame.
Well, what Nestor always told me, because he'd been growing the white since Florida.
How many days?
Always said, well, his whole thing with the white is he cured everything else like 2 weeks, but the white he cured 6 weeks. He's like, if you don't cure it 6 weeks, it doesn't come out.
It's a long time.
There's something in there that
sweat it out, basically.
And it's that everyone's describing in this chat room that it's like they say like a sweet lemon gummy bear. I always said it was like a sweet lime, but
I like the gummy bear. I could see that one because of the honey. I mean, it really
definitely honey.
Right. Reeks of it's like so I was growing a skunk plant in some honeysuckle bush, you know, like, and I mean, a lot. We've got pigeonholed with that plant so hard because she does so well for us that we can't get rid of her, man. I mean, we make all these other strains, and we still that plant's still in our garden, and she's that incredible. I think she's definitely one of my favorite plants ever, and probably the most misrepresented plant in the game because. She actually, you know, like when the shittier you grow, the better she looks almost. But what I'm saying is, you can lock her out, she'll frost up, you can cut her early, and she'll go.
Right. So
that just pisses off the people for the next round, you know. But if you can actually grow and get her to 63 to 68 days, healthy, you know, and fading nice, you're gonna find it's hard to find a plant that smokes better than that and does its job. But you know, there's a lot of people don't like to put hands on in the garden and actually grow the plant day to day. They want
Yeah, they just want someone else to go in and take care of it all for them, basically. And they don't. Those guys only want to go 8 weeks because they can squeeze one extra cycle in a year. And then you're like, yeah, we have 8 shitty weeks compared to, we have, 5 shitty 8-weekers instead of dropping it down to 4 cycles and having 10-weekers, you know what I mean? And just kind of like, because I always find my favorite plants are like between 65 and 75 days, like right around that range, that 77 days is like my peak. Like then at that point they start to get weird again, like go woodier or something, But in that zone, there's like things pop out that you never would see if you harvest at 45 days, or 50 days, like most people. So yeah, no,
the wife's dialed, man. You're taking her down at 63, fully flushed, and she's perfect. Like past that, she starts literally like the tops start dying off.
Right.
So she's not living anymore. She's dying. She's dead, and she can't take that light. Like you have. I wish you could get her 70 days. I've done it, and she just she just looks fried, you know.
Right.
But,
Yeah. No, it's all down to the plant, which whatever they're at. But had to, with the sage and stuff, it was like a 10-week or 11 weeks, really, if you really wanted to go perfect. You know what I mean? And that was that sweet little period right there, probably a week earlier.
Yeah, I find my favorite plants to be 70-day plants. That's usually where the magic lies for me after I'm smoked them and they're doing their job for me as a person, rather than as a grower or whatever we do when we're done with the flowers.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's when you're like when you check it. I mean, everything is maxed out and peaking, perfectly if you have the right strains, and it's like kind of like when we compare it to wine, it's the Merlots. You know what I mean? It's those heavier, deeper tones and stuff, and those things that are like, whoa, what's that? Like compared to hoping that it all fits within a certain category that everybody's used to, and that's kind of where everybody's hoping, like, oh, I hope it smells like an OG or it smells like it's sour, and that's all they care about. And then it fits within a category that the shops will like, compared to like expressions of things you've never heard, like, whoa, those are berries I've never smelled before,
Space berries.
Kush berries, remember?
I think all those things are, what the Kush has done and what Sour's done and what a lot of these older strains have done. It's so great and it's so interesting, and I know a lot of people are very interested in like who did what. But I think what's more important now is people being a little more adventurous and looking for new things, because if people weren't doing that in the 70s and 80s, the real heads weren't doing what we're supposed to be doing now, we'd all be smoking some trash from like the same strain that was grown in Brooklyn in a backyard in 33,
Yeah.
But I think the hype's good and it's cool that people love these certain strains, but there needs to be a little more adventure in it,
Yeah,
and that's kind of like...
It's getting that way too. Yeah, it's getting that way too, though. Now I think finally people are breaking out of that like mold a little bit, just because and
everyone's got it. The mystery is getting less.
And I preach to people all the time, like, dude, you gotta make your own way. You know what I mean? Don't just keep going with clones, especially new growers that come into the game. Like, you have a chance now because you're not even tainted yet. You know what I mean? You haven't even gotten tainted. And you're not going to, because the minute you start growing OGs that are all tired, old ones that are clones, compared to growing seeds, you're like, fuck that.
You just gave me the best idea, man.
What's
I'm just gonna buy a bunch of clones. I'm gonna find a male. I'm gonna cross one of them with a
find
female
a male
that
clone?
I found. And no, I'm gonna find I mean, people, I can find a male clone. I had male clones for a while. What? And then I'm gonna cross them, and then I'm gonna make a seed company just like everybody else in like the past year. Why haven't I thought of that?
Wow, you're a genius.
Gosh,
you're a genius, kid.
It seems so simple.
The kid.
You're back to the
kid.
I'm being facetious. I'm not being
the champ of sarcasm.
Yeah,
the champ of sarcasm.
Wasn't being.
That was a real champ move.
Yeah, that's a classy champ move.
At least I wasn't being serious. That would have been worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
There has been a pretty big explosion of seed companies this last couple of years, hasn't there?
Yeah, no, I already predicted it when I first moved back to America. I was like, I came back and I'm like, well, what am I going to do with TH seeds? And I just was kind of, because of this state has been so bad with getting their regulations together for actual seed companies. I've kind of just sat and watched it all develop, and it's like, as that happens, there's thousands of underground not paying taxes, not doing anything right, doing it all wrong, going to get themselves in trouble at some point once it all starts to get more regulated, which it is, especially since like a majority of them are in California, and Cali's, once it gets into this next year and it starts to become a recreational legal thing and regulated and stuff, I think those people are going to have to get their shit together, because you can't be selling seeds at every single show, slanging here and there, and not think that they're going to catch up to you at some point. So that's where I kind of came back, was like, well, I didn't move back to America to get in trouble, you know what I mean? So I just sat and watched, and that's why it's taken me 5 years to even get to the point where I'm even putting seeds out here, So it's been tough, but kind of interesting to watch. And all those guys, if you watch, I mean, like maybe, I think one real company, there was like one real registered seed guy in California, and the rest were all flying under the radar. Not a single person's registered a real, they register like a t-shirt company or something else, but
they have some
form of business, but not necessarily what they're doing. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
It's a gray area. It's like a gray cloud with a silver lining. I think everybody has a different story and a different personality and a different goal with what they're doing, and it's probably just a proper time for everybody to strike, and it's all at different times. Maybe some people don't need to strike at all, And as far as like all the seed companies popping up in the past couple years, it's impossible not to notice. I'm not a person that thinks what I think matters. As far as like whether they should be doing it or not. I think it'd be kind of assholeish to try to think that no one else deserves or should experience.
They can do it. Everybody should do it. And that's the cool part about this is that it's like there's actual serious work getting done. It's not that people are all doing it wrong. There's definitely people doing it right. But when it comes to a business, there's no real business model to work off right now. So we're all either like, and the thing is that everyone's just anxious, a little too anxious. That's what I say. I'm just like, all right, guys, slow down, do the work. But as far as like putting your name out there for selling seeds until you got your shit together and you're smart about it, just be careful because I don't want I hate to see people go down like for taxes and bullshit when it's like all that and then. If you see some guy clearing out a place and that guy's been breeding and doing good work and he gets fucked over for that, it's like, that sucks. Then all of a sudden it's going to be like,
Hey, it's a tough sport, man, and that's what I think people need to kind of remember as far as like doing breeding goes and stuff. Crossing a plant to another plant, that is breeding per se, and I mean, but doing real work, and you guys know this, doing real work, it's expensive. And if you're doing that because you're caught up in the fact that it's cool and it might be profitable somewhere down the line, I think people should really know that they're kind of robbing themselves of the real experience, which is what these seeds are for, which is female flowers. And a lot of these people aren't really growing female flowers. They're, I got no names to mention, but some of the biggest breeders, you couldn't fucking buy a sack off them for $1,000 because they don't grow fucking flowers. They make seeds.
Right.
That's fucking ridiculous. I don't understand that. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you know what you're looking for? What's a tester? How do you know what you're? Everybody is different. Your chemical makeup's different. Your mind's different. How can someone else do that work for you? You got to grow flowers.
Well, puts you in. That puts you in sync with the plant, obviously, and then puts you in sync with the lines that you're working, and you're kind of like that. That's the best part about breeding cannabis, in my opinion, is the fact that we were able to imbibe in this plant,
you get to experience it way more than other plants.
Whereas if you're like growing tomatoes, and it's sort of like okay, you
taste it.
You might like tomatoes a lot, but I'm sure at a certain point you're kind of like, okay, well, tomatoes are tomatoes, and you're like, okay, this one's good, that one's good, and you get a little tired of it. But where the weed, you're constantly challenged a little bit with the growing side of it, and then you're rewarded with the consumption side. So the reward is so huge that you're going to keep going for it for years, and that keeps us all in the game like for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Not many other things can do that. Like, it's like other plants, they make you money, and that's the money which is the goal. I don't think if that's your goal, if your goal is the money, then that's not really making you a breeder. You're as a breeder, your goal should be the plant. That's what you're fucking.
You need to make a Venn diagram.
A what?
A Venn diagram?
Yeah.
It would perfectly explain what you're trying to explain right now.
But go this way or don't go that way?
No, like little circles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
And like breeders in the middle, and like things that you do and things that you don't do, and some of them are all the same. It's just visual.
It's visual.
Can you explain it to me?
Explain your vision.
I know you know what a Venn diagram is.
No, but can you explain what you want to put in there?
Oh, I don't know.
You just want to make a Venn diagram.
You want to see a bunch of circles.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I got mind maps. You can do that.
Mind map's sweet, right?
We'll make a mind map of it for you.
You know what? It's funny. I wasn't even thinking about it until right now, and we have. I know that Dean, like Mitchell Dean out here, grows a lot of Swamp Boy stuff. I know I just got some of his Tina Danzin. It was fantastic. Came out really, really, really
right
nice.
On.
Yeah, it was great. We actually we put it through the press. It yielded really, really well. And I mean, he did, and he even over dries his flowers. I mean, we squished it super dry, and it still yielded over 20%, and it was really nice. I was really impressed.
Right on. Yeah, he does some pretty growing, man.
Yeah,
That's real nice.
And it's funny because he can take videos with his phone, and it's still, it shows that it's not his camera skills that are on point. It's his growing that's on point, and yeah, he really does a good job with your guys' stuff out here.
Yeah, very pretty growing, man.
Yeah, I mean, we have such opposite conditions, obviously, though, with the humidity and the altitude and stuff that we're here. So it'd be interesting to see, like, buds from his garden compared to buds from your garden, and do, like, measurements and see the density and why. Because, it is that you guys must get better yields than we, because that's our biggest problem here. Is it's like people can grow beautiful looking flower here, but to get the weight and dry the weed properly and make it all just the way it should be, it's like amazing how hard it is to get the proper weight out of it. You know. Did you guys checked out gardens out here, right? When you were out.
What's that?
Have you guys been out here and checked out gardens in Colorado?
Yeah. I come to Colorado quite a bit, actually. Denver and Aurora and Colorado Springs. Yeah, I've seen plenty of gardens, and I don't know. I didn't notice much of a difference in challenges, really. It was all indoor, you know, like, I don't know, control your environment.
Sure.
Same anywhere, you know?
Well, to a point, I mean, but it is weird because I know people who have been just, like, banging away in Florida for years, moved out here, and are just, like, fucking struggling because, you know, they do everything the same, and they have much different results, you know what I mean? And they've been doing things so long on the same program with the same things that for them it was like, you know, it would be like, you know, to the point where they just like, wait, checking the water, checking this, checking that, not seeing it in the grow, it looks right, you know what I mean, like beautiful, but when they actually get down to figuring out the weights and stuff, it's like, this is really kind of weird. But it is, I just think it's also, we have thin, you know, our air quality is different here. There is different inputs, you know what I mean, like we're in a different place, you know, so we are.
What's the altitude in Denver?
5280.
Yeah, I can't be speaking on that. I don't know. I guess
you guys are like, what
stuff.
Are you, like 3 feet?
I guess if I'm tired the minute I land there, I'd probably be broken.
You're about 3 feet up or something, 4 feet. What do you got, 4 feet off the ground or something?
No, I mean, you know we're in California, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking you were in Florida still. No, Florida, you're about 4 feet off the ground.
We got ran out of Florida 6 years ago on the Trail of Tears, man. You know?
No, Florida's about 3 feet off the ground, though, normally. And that's more what I was talking about, comparing those two conditions. You guys are still like, I mean, we're still deserty and got the kind of, you know, we're high desert, got the
negative pressure.
Yeah, for sure. And UV and all that, you know, makes a difference. Outdoors, at least, not indoors.
Hey, if you got UV making a difference indoors, teach me. I'm sorry if I didn't unlock the.
No, I think that's great, dude. I mean, look, we're going to end up talking about the Adam Dunn Show Invitational on the end of the episode here. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're inviting you guys again this year. And I guess.
Did I tell you what happened with that? Did I already tell you what happened with that last year?
I don't even need to know.
I kind of.
Oh,
the
kid.
You want to know? I'm just interested to hear the story, though.
Sure, if you want to tell it, tell the story. We'd love to hear it.
Because he would have. I honestly think they would have won. I mean, they would have standed a great
chance. This is like, we don't really enter stuff for the cups and stuff. We never have, because I mean, I don't know. We're just busy doing other stuff, and I think that, taking nothing away from award cup winners, it's just not where my interest lies as far as like being competitive. I think you know, people purchasing flowers is like more important than people winning. You know what I mean? Like, I think the flowers speak for themselves. But when you guys invited us, I was kind of, you know, fans of you guys' work, and I kind of liked the idea that there was like, 20 people, or how many people were invited?
Last time we invited 50, but it ended up being like 30 people. This time we're going to have backup people, but we're capping it at 52 people.
Well, I like the idea that was the people were going to be there with their flower, you know, like me, this is my fucking jar. I thought that was real cool, and I had a pretty strong dog in frame, man. I thought like I was going to bring some Trigeri, and I had it all ready to roll. I remember I RSVP'd with you guys, but then like it changed up, right? Like the venue changed up, and then there was going to be a bus ride and stuff. I just started I was like, oh no. It was we were really we were flying people from all over the country to come to Denver, trying to get it all together for the booth and whatnot. And it just turned out to be not so simple. That's why we didn't make it. But man, we were pretty excited to go to that. And,
so because somebody leaked the location of the first place.
Who did that?
I don't remember who did that, but somebody did it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Anyway, this time we're not going to have problems like that.
Up our phones for even like 2 seconds and get what we needed to be doing in Denver done. So it was like, fuck, I mean, I was torn about it because
the phone was the issue.
Yeah. Don't worry. This time it'll be a lot easier. We don't have to go through such, that was very location specific last time. We're getting out ahead of that this time. So we're definitely going to do the invite this year. And yeah, we hope to see you guys there. And
I'll bring 3 phones in case. How's that?
Do it. Yeah.
Exactly. Strap under your leg or something like that, so you'll be all good, just in case shit gets crazy. No, it'll be all right. We'll announce after, but we definitely have a bit more of an idea of how to do this properly this year.
Yeah, I mean, last year there's a good segue to talk about.
It'll still be a secret location.
Yeah, last year we had to build a little of the mystique because it was the first one, and now the event's proven itself. Now we just fine tune it. But
are you gonna have hash in it this time?
We're thinking of doing an Iron Chef battle with hash, where like the hash makers all. It's just going to be hard to get all the equipment in the same place.
You can't. You'd have to specify what kind of hash. I mean, you can only
the best hash.
You can't just make hash that day in front of people, and you're not going to be able to do it.
Well, we do the judging at the awards because we delayed the award show.
Right, but you can't. No, you can't. No one's going to want to make their hash in front of anybody.
Oh, that's how Iron Chef works.
No. Iron Chef would be giving them the same material 3 weeks before.
And Iron Chef, they cook in front of everyone.
I know,
on the
but no one's going to want to do that because there's so many people do different shit, and it's my tech and his tech and everyone else's tech.
The old left-hand tech. Lefty tech.
Left tech. Stranger tech, as I like to call it.
Yeah, stranger.
You got to sit on it first. You got to sit on it first, or it's not as nice.
Yeah, sit on it, get it all numbed out.
But no, I mean, I honestly, I'd rather have absolutely nothing to do with it and be able to, enter some hash than anything else. I'd rather have nothing to do with anything.
Right. Obviously, you'd rather not do any work.
I would rather do no work at all.
We're well aware.
And just enter the hash to be easy.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. But no, this year should be really cool.
Someone else make it for you is what you're trying to say.
No, I'll make it.
Like I said, we're gonna go for 52 competitors. We're gonna have 52 primaries, and then we're gonna have backups. We're gonna have some random nominated over the internet. But we're definitely keeping it tight. 52 people are getting in there.
And the scoring bracket isn't going to be built up 2 hours before the competition.
The scoring bracket will be built up probably right there at the competition. Yep.
Is it going to be card? People love the cards.
Heads 52. There's going to be cards, but we'll use the whole deck. We didn't use the whole deck.
No jokers.
No, there's 52 cards.
See,
in the
that's
deck
what I mean. We'll talk.
I got some joker
We'll talk.
ideas.
I got a couple ideas. Yeah. But no, it's going to be good. People love the cards, man. Loving the cards.
So, I guess let's talk Swamp Boys now. We kind of talked about the past. Let's talk about the present and the future, man.
You guys going to be at L.A. at the Cup?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
We sure will be.
We'll definitely see you there. I know you guys are always busy as hell at Cup time. Everyone's trying to get their hands on. What are your top sellers right now?
Ah, man, that's the Legend of Zelda, man. By far.
What's the cross on that?
That's the Legend to the OBT. The Legend of G to the OBT.
Tell us about that OBT. It's Orange Blossom Trail?
Yeah, it's Orange Skunk.
Just an old heirloom orange skunk from down in that region?
Yep. That's what the seeds were called that were popped.
And what'd you select that male for?
Terp.
Yeah, terps. Just
orange.
And it's got that. It's got that citric, obviously.
It's different than It's not like the Tangy at all. It's nothing like that. I mean, I know that's the hot the Tangy terp.
Right.
But it's different. It's more like the orange candy slices terp. The old orange, the generic ass sugary orange candy.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah, it's more that like creamy. I guess that'd be opaque, not so gluey.
Mm-hmm. Creamsicle-ish maybe. I like creamsicles.
That's the orange you're looking for.
That's the orange I like. Is that kind of that creamsicle?
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's nothing. I love the tangy. Whenever I'm out of the cup, and I can't. That's like one of the most undeniable fucking strains ever. I love smelling that secondhand. It's awesome, but the RBT is nothing like that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
And I think it's pretty subtle in the crosses as well. Like you can taste the orange, but it doesn't. It's not as dominant as the Georgia Pine male is. That male in particular in those crosses.
And that male, you use it in any other crosses, or is it just sort of specific on that one?
Oh no, our whole other. We have Summer Rees, Lucy,
and that's a dominant. I mean, that's dominant in all those strains, though. It's pretty much one of those, or is it in that particular cross? It kind of works that way.
Oh no, I'm saying that male isn't as dominant in any of the crosses.
Okay, just in that one though, it's a little bit more than, let's say, the orange. Like it sits on top of the orange flavor.
I forget which strain we were talking about.
Which one was it? The pine.
Oh, the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
I found 3 phenotypes in that, and the one of them is real orangey.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's almost like straight Legend, but has this like baked cookie taste to it. Not like cookies, not like Thin Mint, nothing like that.
Right.
Like literally a bakery taste.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one's kind of in between, and it's the smaller plant, and it was the sleeper plant, and I can't explain to you how much this plant fucking yields, man. It was remarkable, to say the least. But I'm really enjoying growing that one, and she does well. That's the best way to put it. Can't really grow enough of her.
And how's the what would you scale that, like on the three different phenos, like as far as terp profile on that huge yielder? Is it as terpy as the other ones, or is it like kind of because a lot of times you can't even give up a little bit, you know, be like, all right, it's the biggest plant I have, but is it as heavy on the terp quality, or?
No.
Yeah, I mean, we're just looking for that'd be the grail there. Like,
you found the one.
That's the one forever. Yeah, but it sounds fun to grow. But it sounds fun to grow too. I mean, I know exactly what you mean though. I have even that mob one. That mob is like that. You know,
mob smells good till you cut it down.
It's and its yields like a bitch. It's unbelievable. But it's sort of like you know, at the end of it all, you're like, oof.
The one I'm working with now that has the loudest terp profile of the Legend of Zelda still yields its ass off. It's just the one that the shorter one I was talking about. Slept on. I just didn't like the profile on it.
Mm.
And to be honest, it was like you were mentioning earlier, and I think maybe when I was sleeping on it, I just was a little overworked. Is that it was just the first run with her, and that particular phenotype, and I just slept on her. I just didn't like. Kind of wasn't a bush and she was just growing, you know, odd.
Mm-hmm.
Second run with her, I knew what to do with her. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I don't like to sit here and toot my own horn, but you know,
you're like, all right.
Like the minute you tell somebody you did a certain thing off a certain thing,
yeah,
they just, and especially if it's some of your own work, you know. I mean, I think the proof's in the pudding. You can look at my feed and see what I grow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I grow seeds we make. I don't grow other stuff. And I'm sure not to, you know, I guess maybe I should be saying I'm smoking all that, but, you know.
So what do you guys have planned as far as you have new releases coming out this year, or any ideas as far as new lines you might start working?
Oh man, I don't know if I should say on here, huh? Should I?
Yeah, you definitely, of course.
Of course you should.
Oh man, I know my partner's listening, even though his pussy ass won't call in. Oh shit. Well, we're gonna release the TK.
In seed form or as a cut?
Oh hell, what's the point in the cut? The cut's out. In seed form.
Wow.
And I guess I probably should leave it at that. Within a year, it'll be out.
Right
and
on.
there's a little more to it than just releasing it, but I think people will be a little happier with what we're doing than what they probably think we're doing. And it'll explain why we haven't done it sooner.
That's both exciting and mysterious.
What's that?
I said that's exciting and mysterious, but we have no idea what you're doing.
I should have said shit, man.
That's all good, dude. That's all good.
But you asked me, I mean...
Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't get yourself in trouble.
What's that?
Don't get yourself in trouble, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for holding me back.
Yeah, man. Well, anything else you want to shout out or let people know? I mean, there's questions about the Triangle Kush that I think are like really specific and whatever can be addressed. Whatever.
I'll answer what I can. I would like to say hey to all my friends out in Florida that are still doing this.
Yeah.
When it's not so legal, I got so much respect for you and love for you guys. And keep up the good fight, man. I don't think a lot of people understand how tough it is down there and how remarkable that a lot of this stuff comes out of that place and what remarkable type of people it takes to get that done. I think that's overlooked. That's more important than the actual strains, is the people doing this. And just want to say hey to everybody.
Right on, dude. That's a great shout out. We got some more straight questions. Read it.
So Seed's here now. I just got a post. He said he wants to give away a pack of Zelda. Share the Seed's here now Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter page with the Swamp Boys Zelda pick, and then email info@seedsherenow.com with which platform you shared, and the winner will be announced next week on the show. Bam. So there we go.
There you go. Pop up contest. Question in the chat room about.
He's got Bubba ready to call in.
Question in the chat room about DNA genetics. Florida OG. Got any idea on that?
Man, I don't really keep up with what other people are doing. As far as DNA goes, I know they make good stuff, and they're really nice guys. I don't know who's working with what. I know who I've given what, and that's very few people anything as far as like cuttings go. But Florida OG, tell me. You would have to tell me.
I'm just looking at their description here. I guess the big question that gets asked is they're saying that it's Crippy, which you're saying is definitely something very different than the TK.
Now, Crippy was the Crippy cable, whatever you want to call it. No, that's not TK. I mean, I know what we thought it was and where it came from. I know where the sacks came from. And, not the house, but the area.
Yeah.
And that was up in Gainesville. And I know what was being grown up there during those time periods due to, coming out in history and whatnot. So that's the Micanopy badness as far as I know. I didn't grow it, and that's what the Crippy is as far as us Florida boys that were there now.
So other questions about Florida strains that we're going to pick your brain with, and maybe you can or maybe you can't answer. Everyone has questions about the Black Haze, or the Piff as we called it up north, which I'm not even sure that the Piff is the same as the Black Haze from what some of the Black Haze I've seen.
Well, in Florida, it was funny, before the white, there was the black. And that's what it wasn't called Black Haze, it was called the black. It wasn't called Piff, it was called the black. And it was fire, and it was some people that were not far deep, far separated from the Kush crew. Grew the black, but I don't know the history on it. The best I can tell you is when you got the TK, that's in Florida, that's what you're growing. You're not trying to look for the black or haze, because haze would go for 42. TK would go for 56. I mean, fuck the black, you know. But it was awesome. I like to grab sacks of it whenever I see it around. Grown right, not commercially.
And then the other question we always got to ask about is Gainesville Green, which maybe ties into the Crippy.
That's what I know is Crippy, and we called it cable, not Crippy. I mean, I heard that Crippy seemed to be like more of a younger word. Not that I'm fucking 83 years old.
Sure.
What was
The guys that always had the sacks that were the wettest called it the cable. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was coming from Gainesville. And on the time period of, with the stories of the guys growing on the river and the trees, that was the Micanopy Madness. At the same time period, those sacks were coming from Gainesville.
Yeah, it was definitely a hot spot for a little while there, huh?
So,
The South's always been a hot spot for good herb. I think people love to hate on the South. But there's real people there that have good taste. A real pirate spirit to them that hard to match. So there's a lot of good stuff comes out of there. Just like a lot of stuff comes out of Minnesota, because there's good people there with good taste. It just wasn't popularized by California was. Or
sure, and California's always the California way about it. They're always very. They want you to know, and everywhere else,
California
they want you to know.
California's awesome, man. It's hard to find. It's a great place, man. But the country didn't start here. The country started back east and worked its way over here.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people forget that.
So I want to say there was another question about whether the triangles was the same thing posted online as the Emerald Triangle Kush at some point. I lost it here in the chat. I'm trying to scroll down to it. I don't know if you want to address that at all.
What's that?
There's some question on I'm trying to find it in the chat room, Adam. I don't know if you can find it.
I saw it.
Whether the triangle was posted online as the Emerald Triangle Kush. Some story about getting it as Emerald Triangle Kush.
Nope.
It says he saved the posts.
Yeah, I Googled it. I found some post on ICMag, but it doesn't have you involved at all. It's a conversation Fletch is having with Inspecta. It's not really.
Okay, there you go.
So, I don't know. All right, cool. Well, I threw it out there.
There's another triangle. There's another triangle besides the Emerald Triangle. I don't think there's a lot of people.
Right.
I mean, it's not too hard to figure out. If you think about Florida, there's a thing called the Bermuda Triangle.
Sure, it's really close by.
Yep.
Yeah, and plenty of if you look at people's GPS, it's pretty much triangles. Usually, it's like home, work, bar, homework, bar, whatever.
What do you
I like that.
Homer Simpson.
Okay. Triangle. Yeah, exactly.
All right. I think that does it for questions, man. I don't know if there's anything else you want to cover, man.
Nah, man. I had a good time. Nice talking to you guys. I hope I didn't let I know everybody was wanting some final answer, and I know a lot of guys would like to claim that final answer. I'm just not that guy. I'm blessed enough to have had had that plant be a part of my life and still be a part of my life. Maybe a little longer than most, that's enough for me. And, I think it's more about what we're doing now than what we've done then. And, it's interesting, but I hope that's not a letdown.
No, I think it's great. And honestly, we never expect the answer. We just expect another wrinkle in the story, which you definitely gave us, man. So,
and it's an early one, so it makes sense because it's
yeah, like back in Florida before California. I like that. That's what I needed. That would validate any story, So that's major. Well, we want to thank you for coming on, dude. If you can convince Chrome to come on next time, of course, we want you to do that. And definitely, we're going to invite you to this year's ADSI. Vitus just showed up so we can have our planning meeting on that, so we could get an awesome event plan for you guys. But yeah, we definitely want you guys to come out. I got to tell you, I think you're officially. We started 2016 with a bang, dude, because you had 211 active guests in the chat room.
Which is winner? He's the winner. Oh, this year.
Well, that's you're up there with the high, maybe tied, but you're really up there.
180 was our highest before.
Hell yeah, dude!
So you beat up at 30 even already. Bam.
I'm glad I could help, man.
Yeah,
I like you guys. But, I like what you guys are up to, and yeah, man, I'll be there, man. I got my flowers ready now. So.
Hell yeah, dude!
Let's get some squished up with the cup too. We're all gonna be there. Adam,
Jesus, even I can smell this. My nose is stuffed.
I don't know if I'm coming
to the LA Cup. Well, Mitch and I will be there, so we'll stop by.
We're talking about ADSI, buddy.
I know what you're talking about. I've been sitting right here.
There's only one cup.
There's only one. I'll pass this.
Ours is an invitational. It's not a cup.
It's true. It's not a cup.
This
is my segue to talk about it.
All
right, let's let Ricky off the phone while we do another set of shout-outs so he doesn't have to listen to it twice. Thanks for coming on, brother. We'll hit you up soon, man.
Hey, can I give one more shout-out?
Yeah, do it, man.
As many as you want.
I want to give a shout-out to the Swamp crew here in California that works 7 days a week to make all this stuff happen. To see these guys and what they do, it's hard to explain how much it means to us, and we love you guys. That's it. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon, bro.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too, man. Peace. All right. Someone want to do shout-outs while I go blow my nose?
No.
We gotta do the shout-out. We gotta do it like that. We gotta do the shout-outs.
Do it.
Bring it up.
Good morning, America.
Kid, bring it up.
With Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin and Mitch Shanassi.
Go that way, this way, where are you going? You're
gonna
taking out the studio?
You go around through the back, and you come around here, and you grab a tissue.
Don't step on any wires, please.
Don't step on any of the wires. You're fired. You're fired.
All right, kid, get on the computer.
Fired.
What are you doing? Pop up some stuff.
I'm on the computer.
Make some shit happen.
The kid's on the computer. Regis is on the mic.
Oh, yeah. I got you. I got you, Reg.
It would be crazy if we just had a conversation with Morgan Freeman.
That would be good. That would show some range in your skills.
They're rarely in the same room together.
Because, to flip between those two things may be difficult. One, I can see.
No, we rarely have.
I don't think you could do two. I don't see it even being possible.
I don't want to talk about it. Me and Morgan don't get along.
Oh,
we don't get along.
Joe Pesci jumped in quickly all of a sudden. I was saying, what's going on there? I was like,
no, Joe. That was completely different.
That was Regis Philbin turned into Joe Pesci within 1 second.
Regis is a little bit Italian.
He was
yes, he is.
He's not that Italian.
He's nasally.
He's
nasally.
He's nasally. Yeah. He's not Italian.
Have you seen Joe Pesci lately?
I'm talking about fucking Regis Philbin.
He looks terrible.
Yeah,
Joe Pesci looks terrible.
Now you're going.
Everything's been going really well for me since I've been off Good Morning America.
And you turned into a gangster.
Turned into a gangster.
You were
Regis the gangster.
He was running the entire fucking city at that time.
I ran all the organization.
He ran it all.
Every family.
He ran all the weed for years.
I ran it all.
Yeah. So did you know Regis Philbin ran all the weed in New York from Brooklyn? And now he's a Brooklyn gangster. And he sounds like Joe Pesci all of a sudden. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's fucking weird. I haven't done the things yet because he hasn't pulled anything up. He's a complete mess.
Now that he's vaping.
He can't do one voice and do anything. It's pretty much.
All right, now you got to do a Regis Morgan, and we'll let you off the hook.
You have to do both. You have to do one or.
Way to go! I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. You can't ask me. These people only.
Can you do it in a snake voice? Can
they're
you do
very limited. I have to pay them a lot of money.
Like a lispy and shit. Come on, somebody do something.
Do Way to Grow. I did Way to Grow already. We'll switch him this time. I'll do Incredibles.
All right, Way to Grow, our number one sponsor here in Colorado. Also keeping it real here for I think about fucking 10, 12 years. How long have they been? 11 years. That's going their 11th year or something. Long time. They have 7 locations all over Colorado, so somewhere close to you. But right now they're doing a light-up sale. They have Hordelux, $59 for 1,000 watt. Bam, that's a deal right there. $69 for 600s.
Is this cotton candy scented e-juice?
Oh my!
It's gross. I don't know what the flavor is.
Yeah,
it's not cotton candy.
It is cotton candy.
Oh yeah, it tastes.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Hordelux Blues, $129 and 600s for $89 on the same blues. They're also got candy the kid loves. He can eat them up.
I love the candy.
He could probably eat 20 or 30% right off the top.
Okay, listen.
He can come with you and get that discount for you.
Sometimes I eat so much of the candy when I'm in line. I fear that one of them one day is going to be like, dude,
no one ever says anything, though,
you
right?
can't take that much candy at once. Because now they have the little pot where
You're
you
gonna put a little thing
where you can put the wrappers. Yeah, like where you can only reach through once, and if you reach through again, like
sometimes
some
I go and I
razor
think
blades
you
clamp on
just
your hands or
left
something.
because it's filled with empties. I'm like, who the fuck is
Dude,
filling it with
it's
empties?
If you're
That's
going
gross.
to Platte River, it's a good chance that that's the case because I stand there and I wait in line while they
and
bring
it's just
everything
filled
up.
with empties.
and
I'm
I
like,
just
that's
eat,
gross.
man.
Who does
And
that?
Platte River's got the best candy, dude. It's not my
You
fault.
should actually take those in your pocket and throw it
No,
away
because
somewhere
then I
else.
feel bad too because it's like you take the pocket.
Don't you? You don't like leave
No,
like
they
every
have a
like a
little bowl for
pile.
empties.
You don't like go
No,
there.
no.
Yeah, that's like
They have an
that's-
empties bowl. They have a bowl that you can
They
put
do
your empties
now
in.
because
They
of
do
you.
now.
Because of
Probably
you.
because of me, but I can't leave the way to grow with the candy. I have to eat it in there. I can't take it with me because then I feel like I'm stealing.
Yeah, just put it
That
in your
is
pocket.
bullshit.
Well, no, it's
Waste
like, oh, hey,
space.
thanks. I'm going to take a handful of candy
So you're
and
gonna
leave.
eat-
It's not Halloween. It's, I came in to buy a,
So you're
Santa
gonna eat
Claus.
as
It's
much as
always
you can.
Halloween a way to
You're
grow.
gonna eat as much as you can in front of them.
Say Adam Dunn show, and they won't even think twice.
that's
They'll
not
bring out
stealing.
more. They'll bring out the good candy.
If you say Adam
Full
Dunn Show
bars.
3 times, we should find a way
Full
for you to be
bars.
able to just appear. Like
Actually,
Beetlejuice.
the candy thing flips and it's just full bar.
Like
Like,
king size. Okay, look.
James Bond
I
shit.
ate a king size candy bar in 2.5 blocks the other day, like from the laundromat to the Target. It's like 2.5 blocks. King size.
That is how you judge
To
them,
my
how
face.
far you go with
I
a
just
candy
fucking
bar.
love candy, dude.
Taking candy to the face.
Nothing I
Okay,
can do about
speaking
it.
of candy, let's stop the conversation.
Big shout out to
About
Incredibles
candy.
edibles.
Let's talk about Incredible
Talk about
edibles.
candy.
Real candy.
Whether you live in
Man
Colorado,
candy,
whether you're
man
coming to visit,
candy.
Nick, you like Incredibles
And
edibles,
women
don't
too,
you?
Of course.
I'm talking to the microphone.
Yeah, be a man.
Yeah.
Snake, not a snake. Don't be a
It was
snake.
long drive.
Don't be
I
a
feel like I'm
snake.
in some weird fucking hippie compound, but yes, I love Incredibles.
You are an hippie compound. See those pods
My
outside?
development doesn't look like a
Very
hippie
Manson
compound.
outside.
Oh, they're doing they. So the guys told me that this place was very Manson before. However, the people that lived here, no, all the people that lived in these buildings, they said that each one of these houses, because the basement's perfect.
Had a cult going on.
Each one of these houses had like 10 to 15 lights in the basement, each one.
Yeah.
And then they worked together as like a huge collective, and they were putting out like hundreds of pounds out of the basements of these buildings.
And the ghosts of those
And it's all
pounds.
true because all the when they were cleaning them out, the dumpsters were filled with old, broken down, gross shit that you could
Yeah.
never use. But it was pretty interesting to know that. I mean, hundreds of pounds were coming out of this little, like you
It's a
said,
good spot for it.
Manson-esque spot
It's got a
in
good-
Boulder, Colorado.
It's got a good vibe for it.
Yeah.
Well, you want the Manson vibe if you
All
want.
right, but I mean, I don't think Incredibles wants us to be talking about Manson while they're doing their
because
ad.
you are the one who brought it that way.
Right. So
That's
I'll
cool. You
take
have
it
an
back.
Incredible extract sticker right here.
I do, and I have some incredible.
And you're gonna bring it
some
back to
incredible gold
Fireberry's, my
label
favorite.
right here as well.
Fireberry.
Incredible Extracts is putting out great stuff on Instagram too. It's Incredible_extracts, I think. right?
Well, now it's Incredibles Extracts. Yes, Incredibles_extracts, Incredible_extracts, and now the new page, I believe, their bar page got hit by the IG police.
The
So
IG
now I think
police.
it's I love Incredibles is the hashtag that you can catch them on Instagram. But yeah, doing good things. Now we can't see Adam. I'm gonna have to adjust the camera for that one. Look at that.
Oh my God!
Now you can. Now you can.
Yeah, but then he's way back.
Then he can't
Just
talk,
Put it over
yeah.
here. Put it over here. Block the door. Block the
So
sun.
yeah, check them out. Incrediblescolorado.com.
Incredible.
All right, do build the soil.
Build the soil. Me do build the soil?
Build the soil.
Build the
Yeah,
soil.
we're switching.
Build the soil.
Gotta do build the soil.
Build a soil for all of your amendments and all
All the
of your soil
that you
pro-
build.
Come on, you're on top of this, man. This is your deal.
We switched it this time.
Nah.
I wanted. Do you see how hard I struggled through Incredibles? That's come on.
I know we were switching.
All right, build the
There you
soil.
go, bam.
Check them out for your organic amendments.
There you go. I want to hear your voice.
Your
nasal
worm
voice.
farms.
I want
Your cover crops. You deal with powdery mildew because it's getting cold and wet. Get some aloe vera juice.
You sound
and
like you
some
got
coconut.
powdery mildew
Powdery
all
mildew,
over you, man. Actually.
powdery mildew in my
See,
nose.
this works a lot better. You,
Lots of
you
powder.
talk, I make fun of you.
That
That's the
the
way
spot
why-
gets done.
When you're not going to have this next week.
Nope.
It's true. It's
Wait,
once
where are you
in
gonna be
a.
next week?
He's not going to be
My
nasally.
nose is not
He's
going to be.
hopefully
fine.
healthy.
Yeah, so he's not
This
gonna
week we're
sound
gonna play off this as hard as we can this week.
I mean, like he sounds just like you sounded.
You
just
know
like
what I
you
need?
just-
You're gonna
You know what I
tape
need?
these commercials.
I
and
need
use
some
these.
elite cannabis CBD oil to curry
See,
right?
and then what do they have? The rescue is that new stuff?
The remedy.
Oh, remedy. That's
Remedy.
it.
I can't even say remedy.
No,
Yeah, if you can't
the
say it-
rescue is the new.
The
The new
rescue.
product
The rescue is what if you're
when
too
you're
high.
too high.
Oh, that's
I don't
too
need
high.
that one.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I like that.
Maybe you do. Maybe that'll.
I'll
snap
bring
you
that out
back.
for ADSI.
Maybe that'll snap you back. Who's gonna want that?
I'm gonna spike someone with it, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this
No.
sucks. I'm not high
That's a
anymore."
way, like, if
I
you
don't-
think about it
I
though,
don't
could
think
you
you could.
use that as like performance enhancing and drugs and like a bongathon?
Performance enhancing and drugs.
All right, taking a little too many dabs today. As
A little too many dabs
performance-enhancing
every day.
drugs.
I don't know.
Bongathon, you just pound down rescues while you're fucking sitting there ripping.
I
out
wonder
bongs.
if you could put on a CBD patch when you run a marathon.
You can rip your shirt off at the same time and be like, "Ah."
I mean, I always.
I
found
bet you
that-
could do better marathoning with a CBD patch.
I mean, I always.
I mean, it'd be
found
more fun. It would
Like
be
going
better.
to the gym was
I'd be
better
all-
when you were high.
I love to
it's
see
more productive.
Bike try to do a marathon with a bunch of those patches.
THCA patches.
Couldn't even like
Slap his whole body filled with THCA
and let him
indica
just go
patches
and let him
have
just start.
See how
you know?
far you
It
go.
would be like in Ace Ventura, his arms get all numb and wiggly. It'd be great. I would love to see it. Let's make it happen. The bike-a-thon.
Bike-a-thon.
Yeah,
He can ride a bike.
All you have
even.
to
It
do is
doesn't-
run
it
like to the end
No,
of
it's
the
a
street.
triathlon. He has to run a
Triathlon is not a thing.
triathlon.
No, at our new location, we can make, if he can make it down that one strip of our new location, it's like a half a block.
Okay.
Block.
Yeah, if he can do that, like we'll
On a
make sure
bike,
he's super
covered
high,
in
though.
patches.
We'll make sure he's like an hour. He has to wait an hour after the patches because then it's really like just.
Then he has to
And
get
then-
on
And
the
then he's
bike.
got to go on the hover
and,
scooter.
and then we do like a
Hoverboard.
thing. We'll have a
He's gonna
hoverboard.
catch fire.
We'll make sure hoverboard's involved.
I don't know. I haven't seen him catch fire. I ate shit on one yesterday though.
Big shout out to Dark Horse Genetics, where
Oh, yeah,
the kid
we-
ate shit on a
did we do Dark
hoverboard.
Horse last time?
Well, we did.
No, we didn't.
We did. We talked about
We
LA
did.
Cup.
We did do Dark Horse.
Yeah, you
did.
should come to the LA
Maybe I
Cup.
wasn't paying attention.
We did. We
It
did it.
happened. It happens.
But yeah, Dark Horse Genetics
Oh, yeah.
website back up.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But
I
he's still
remember
there?
that. I remember
Yeah.
him. I remember him throwing something.
Go to talk about Extracted. You can use this spot for Extracted.
No, I don't, because every time I try, you say, okay, enough of the ad pitch.
30
After
seconds.
you asked
30
me to
seconds.
talk about
Go.
it. So, Extracted is operating out of the Dark Horse Genetics Colorado facility. We are available for medicinal processing, wholesale, splits, and we also offer a bunch of cool free consultations and opportunities to find your good yielding strains to make sure that you're not losing out on any money on your maximized revenue pounds. You know.
And what have the people been saying about the extracted material that's on the shelves at Kind Love?
If I'm not mistaken, I have heard once or twice or 4 times that it is 1 or 2 of the best dabs that anybody's ever taken, and it's from good people. So that's what I like to hear. I mean, but hey,
like
good in,
the
good
staff,
out.
the staff
The staff
themselves.
But again, good in,
So
good out.
if you're growing good herb, and you want it on the shelves, holler at Ryan at extractedcolorado.com.
And we have some AU extracts too, so they're doing our butane and propane processing for live resin and for shatter. So darkhorsegenetics.com as well for that.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
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 All right, we got Vitus in the
Yep,
room
this-
to talk ADSI. I'm so excited. Bike made a post yesterday, and he kind of started the fire.
Oh.
Well, you messaged us and said, "Hey, we really need to meet
No, you did that quick.
and start talking about it."
Pull it up. Pull it up.
Talking this asshole's doing a Billy Joel impression, so you got to talk right in the mic.
You guys seem exceptionally fucking primed today, I gotta say.
Well, we're all it's first
Thank
show of
God.
the
First show of the new
first show
year.
of the new year. We're almost ready for the new spot.
We're excited about the
2
new
weeks,
spot.
right? 2
Yeah,
weeks.
It is. It's like 2 weeks.
I'll talk to you in May.
So let's talk about this. This is a
Maybe
format change announcement for the audience, right? Because when we go to the new spot, I'm going to look right at the camera. Adam, look at the camera. real
Oh
quick.
yeah, look at it.
it's gonna be
When we
different.
go to the new spot, things are going to be different.
way different.
Different.
The Wednesday show is not going to be live. It's going to be a recorded show. There's going to be a live show Friday afternoons.
This is crazy shit. It's like changing.
And then we're going to do a produced show that's going to play on Wednesday. So you're going to get 2 Adam Dunn shows. Well, one's going to be, I think we should call it like some pun on grown-ups and growing. I'm not sure what, like grown-ups or something with Mitch and Adam. Something, yeah.
There you go.
Well, it's going to be
We're all
the
grown up.
Wednesday-
We're all grown up.
The Wednesday
That's gonna be the
produced one's gonna
Friday.
Be a shorter
Grown-ups.
length show too, right? It's not going to be a 3-hour long.
Right,
program.
both of them are going to be 2 hours, actually. So instead of doing the 1 3-hour, we're going to do 2
2 4
twos.
hours.
2 twos.
4. What are you retarded?
8
One-
hours of shows.
No.
It's just 4 hours of shows.
6 days a week.
Yes.
No, but what we will do is be presenting more shows, not just our shows.
and
We will be bringing other shows on the network.
new sets.
New sets.
The kid will
sets.
no longer be on camera. He will be what's
Oh
David
my God!
Letterman's-
Wait a minute.
What's David Letterman's little guy?
Meltdown. I think.
What's
Chat
David,
room's gonna have a meltdown.
what's
right
David
now.
Letterman's guy?
Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer. I am
You're
now
no
the Paul
long-
Schaefer of the Adam Dunn Show.
Like
So I have a little booth with a window.
We're gonna get rid of these big ridiculous mics and get little like
now,
pro
are we gonna
TV
do?
mics.
Are we gonna do? You can be like behind glass, or you just
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
The little window will put me behind glass, and I'll have control of the switcher for the camera. We'll have multiple camera angles. You guys are gonna be using lavs, essentially just hanging out. You're not gonna have to lean forward to talking to mics. You're not gonna have
We're
to.
just gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, hanging out. We're gonna have, hopefully, if I'm not mistaken, multiple sets within the one.
We're gonna get some couches on dollies so we can roll them in and out.
We're gonna
change
have
the
a nice green room area where the guests that come in are able to sit and listen to the show that's going on and not have to feel like they can't speak or they can't make any noise or do anything like that, because that's never fun either. So it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a lot of changes,
well, they're loving Friday afternoon. They're loving Friday afternoon,
and we're all loving Friday afternoon too. I hate breaking down our week, and I know people probably don't like breaking their week in the middle of the day too.
I think for a lot of people, it's like, oh, Wednesday sucks. At least there's the Adam Dunn show.
Right, that's true.
Speaking of next Wednesday, actually, really cool show. You're excited about this one? Simulcast with Farmer of the Sky radio show with Wolf Siegel.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a show featuring Tom Alexander.
You're getting a car. You're getting a car. You're getting a car.
It's exciting.
You're going to be really excited about this one, guys.
I am. No, he's awesome.
No, it just sounds like
Tom Alexander.
We're gonna get a bunch of old magazines.
I'm gonna try to get Stacey J to bring them. Stacey J has them all.
Yeah, we'll just try to get us a bunch so we can at least kind of before.
Stacey J has them all, and Tom Alexander doesn't have a full set. You see this? He's superheroes weed. Got to make it happen. That's coming next week, and now we're going to talk about ADSI with Mr. Nick Vitus, because we invite us to him down here.
Bad pun number one of
Invite us. He was invite us.
Yes. Shout outs to the Chinese government for illegal puns.
Yeah.
Fuck you, starting early.
Oh yeah, we're hitting hard. We're gonna come in hard this year.
You haven't sent done deal though yet this year.
Oh, I have.
It's the 6th of the year. We don't have any done deals yet.
Not yet. It's coming though.
But ADSI will be a done deal. So Vitus, do you want to just talk about it on the air with us?
Sure.
What did you love about it last year?
Just being in a room with that many people.
So it's important that it's in a very tight space for you.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But, the location last year definitely added a lot to the vibe, which I think was awesome.
The house type thing.
Yeah. Just, I haven't been that high in a long, long time.
The whole fucking house, man, was.
I didn't even get to smoke, and I was high for 2 days.
Yeah, it was insane, dude.
I had to move somebody's car to get my car out. We're getting everything put away, and I couldn't even put the car in reverse. Like, I literally,
Think about it.
Junior high. But I think, last year, people were like, oh, this is cool or whatever. And then it was so fucking awesome that, people that weren't even in it last year or didn't decide to, enter anything in it or really want to be in it. It's like we proved ourselves. Everybody brought their A game, and there was some amazing herb there. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't see why this year's not even better.
Well, this year should be definitely better because there's like so many people on the fence, and they now know they want to be in it, and there's people that obviously we didn't know about that are going to pop up. So hopefully with those 20 extra people that we get some real winners in there,
sure.
And we'll for sure get some people behind it that we think are going to they're definitely going to come, and then they won't show up. It's like every party I've ever organized, the people that I told the longest about it don't show up.
That's why we're going to have backups upon backups, and we'll have people who you get the last minute spot. And
the last guy
shows up.
He always shows up. That guy at the like when you're going to do your laundry or something, you're like, I got to do my laundry real quick, and then you like meet some guy, and you give him your flyer, and he's the first guy at the party. You're like, oh. There's something going
Laundry
on. Laundry guy. So somebody will give you the laundry.
We're definitely going to go bigger this year. We're going to have more space. We're going to try to. I'm going to try to have like. I don't know. Last year we were trying to make it
belly
all
dancers.
Fancy.
You having belly dancers?
No, we were going to try to make it all fancy last year. I think.
Well, we wanted it to be.
Yeah, and then we ended up focusing more on the fancy than the comfortable. This year, a little more comfortable, a little more space.
Yeah.
food out the whole time.
Yep.
Maybe not as fancy food. Maybe not private chef.
Fancy
we'll
food, dude. Come on. I'm
Fancy-
not even gonna
fancy-
talk
we'll
about
get
the
it-
last
we'll
fucking
get a
time.
couple.
food.
We'll get a
Fancy
couple.
Food
We'll get a
last
couple.
time
We'll
was
get a
the
couple.
worst
All right.
part about ADSI.
What?
We'll get it. What?
Yes, the food last time was fucking disgusting. It took forever for the food to get out. People were
What
bitching.
is going on
People
here?
were bitching so hard that everyone there would have rather had stacks of pizzas to be able to be munching on
So
than like
this-
catered events
this
with fine
year-
china.
This year we're
Christ.
probably going to
Okay.
get just a couple food trucks.
Boom. That's the way you go. You don't fucking
I-
I'm gonna have a fine catered event for the ADSI.
Yeah, but
So
like I
you
said,
get the
we do.
finest crystal and
We
put
do.
your pinkies up when you're drinking your water.
When if you were
Pissed me
on
off.
point, you got taken care of. If you were a whiny bitch like yourself, you probably got nothing. So you get what you give.
So anyway,
Don't piss off the food people, dude. I'm telling you. Last
I
time-
didn't eat anything.
probably
Yeah,
have some
you
food
didn't
trucks
eat
this
anything.
year. But
Pepper pot.
more importantly, I think having more people in there and having the time blocked out, rather than having to rush and shuffle around, and we did so much to maintain the event's integrity with having to change the location and all this shit last year. This time, I think we're just gonna keep it tight. Announce, tell people the area where the location is going to be, give them the address the day of, day before, whatever. Just keep it tight, have people at the door, and give people time. Don't rush them around. Have a little more structure. Make sure,
Structure. What the hell's that?
Not like
an Adam Dunn show event. If there's structure, you know that.
like when we just
do
put
like
it, for example, we just put out the jars on the table last time, and
Oh, man.
everyone grabbed at it, and not everyone got to try stuff, and by the end, you couldn't even judge some stuff.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, there
get
was
the
I remember,
entries.
Good stuff.
I do remember that.
So you get
I
the
remember that. I remember the fat little hands getting in there.
yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. You need to figure out get an exact head count. I know that there's 10 people at this table.
So yeah,
we
beforehand
gram
we'll
out
just
10
we'll
grams,
just
10 half grams.
gram them out
So
for each round. You know what I mean? And then each round it's like boom, 3 grams for this round or whatever. One of those for each
We
round.
need these size ready to go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then it's like
That's why I brought
boom,
this.
each round, boom, boom,
Exactly.
boom. So
I like the weed in it.
Yes. All right.
the key to doing that though is should we do a separate intake? What do you think? Should it be intake separate from the event? Because we'll have a spot. We'll have our spot going in Denver, going hard by
Okay,
then.
so if you ask me, here's what
Hard.
I think.
Hard.
So intake
Oh,
last
that'll
year.
be our VIP.
You guys were running all over the fucking place when trying to get the intake done and try to get the brackets finished after everyone was still sitting there and you have 75 people in a room.
Right.
That's just like, holy fuck, we got to get this done. I think
We should do the intake, get all that
24
stuff.
hours ahead of time, and have
Yeah.
it done, or even that morning. The event starts at noon. You have to have your entries in by 9 o'clock in the morning so that we can have those 3 hours to
Right.
build the bracket. But because it was hectic, but once it got up and running, it was almost flawless at that point because it was like perfect timing. Everyone smoked everything. They weren't on a jar for an hour and a half. It was a nice 25
Kept
minutes,
it
half
moving,
hours,
yeah.
and it was good to go. Everyone was on a good pace.
Yeah, with more room to move around and more people than me bringing the jars back and forth too, I think it'll move.
Right.
Yeah, and
Totally
it
seamless.
seems like a lot of people want to help this year, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're using a crazy conveyor belt system this year, almost like a sushi restaurant.
Exactly.
where
We're
you
doing
just
it
sit
at a
a
secret
table and it all
sushi
just
restaurant.
and it's
So
just
what
like
I'm
that
most
running.
excited about almost this year is that we're going to open up
the sushi restaurant.
6 of the normal spots and then 4 of the alternate spots to nominations on Facebook and Instagram. So it's not just people that we know.
Okay. We
So-
tried to do that last year though too. A little
No.
bit.
No, we didn't.
A little bit.
No.
We asked people for nominations last year.
Sort of, kind of.
Kinda.
But more like I'm going to be posting aggressively on Instagram. We have plenty of time now to be like nominate who you think should get one of the seats on at ADSI. Same on Facebook. So chat room. If you guys want a shot, just post a picture of some of your flowers with hashtag ADSI 2016. That's going to be the thing to do. Hashtag ADSI 2016. We'll see what gets a lot of likes. We'll see what we like. We'll get in conversations with people, and we'll pick a total of 10 people. 6 will be primaries, and 4 will be alternates.
We're gonna fly y'all out here. You're gonna have an all-inclusive stay.
Yeah, none of that. You get to go you get to come to the event.
Got Andy to call in too. Still,
Oh, we do still have something cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give him a see if he's available.
He should give a shout because we got 15 minutes.
So when are we? Is the event going to be planned around the same time as it was last year?
It will be around 4:20 time. We're about to have our first planning meeting and look at the calendar now.
Well, that 4:20 is midweek. It's
I know. It's a Wednesday.
It's on a Wednesday,
which is when we do our show.
Yeah.
Which is probably when we'll put. Last year we did the awards show on 4:20, right?
Yes.
So that's what we should do. Is we should do the awards show on 4:20 and do it
live on the show, obviously.
Yeah, that's like we did last year.
And then we have to get the Super Troopers back because that was great.
We have to actually talk to them again for real this time. Get them on the show.
Get them out to have their. We should get them to be their own separate judging panel. You know, I mean, you get your own award. That's what
the Super Troopers Award.
Like a Super Troopers Award.
That's
the ones that the Super Troopers.
So
like
the difference between ASI and other cups is that first of all, it's not a cup, as you pointed out.
It's an invitational. You get invited. You have a good time.
Were you invited?
I don't think anybody invited you.
I was invited. It's a given.
It's a given. Whoa! Right. Look at him now.
I wasn't there. I was just there to visit Kyle, and it just happened
to be in his house. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but what's cool about it is there's no booths, there's no panels, there's no speakers, there's nothing. There's jars of herb and good people sitting around a table, and it's as Ricky was saying, it's each dude with his herb, his strain
that he grew.
Yeah.
Because that's half the, and I don't want to say it's bullshit because that's where a lot of the revenue comes from, but that's half the bullshit that other cups just, I mean, it takes away from it. It's a 4-day event. You have to go in there and worry about spending $2,000 for a booth and whether you're even
we don't charge anyone anything.
No,
it's you get in there. If you're invited, you can compete. If not, if you turn it down, an alternate gets brought in for your spot.
And that's it.
It's random head to head. That's the other thing that's unique about it is like it takes a while, but everyone who's competing is judging in head to head random panels,
and then getting crappy food according to the kids, but
right.
Getting yelled and even though a lot of people had to eat a lot of food because there was a shitload of food going somewhere.
Yeah, it was a shitload of food because nobody wanted to eat it. Just I heard mad complaints last year.
Salt factor 12 going on over here.
Seriously.
The other cool thing about it is people bring strains that you've wanted to try for 20 years or something crazy, and you get a chance to smoke it, or something you never even heard of. I mean, I met people there that I talk to constantly.
It seems like it's like there's a summer camp type of fact where a lot of people got in touch and have stayed in touch over the year.
Kid's an angel. Kid's an angel.
And it kind of like put a lot of dudes who weren't really plugged into the scene at all, dudes who had stayed in the shadows. Yeah. We kind of made it comfortable for them to come and all interact, and they've stayed in touch. They're talking on Instagram. They're way more out here now. Kind of a lot of that vibe at Emerald Cup where everyone was just chilling. So I'm excited to expand it to more people.
Plus, the trophies were the fucking coolest trophies from any weed competition.
Pretty awesome. I saw somebody kind of rip us off though. Those THC ones were kind of...
Look, they didn't rip us off because they've been doing that for free. So we ripped them off anything, but ours was way cooler. At least the Grand Champions trophies.
Yeah,
they were.
They had the same slanty going on.
There's only one catalog that sells quartz to the guys who etch trophies.
You're displaying your trophies in your home. I mean, that's gonna look a lot nicer in your house than
you could definitely crack someone over the head with it too, and just
you could murder someone with that
murder.
No,
you could mount it to the front of your car, and it would be awesome.
Just ram people with it. You never would have gotten fucked up by that deer because it would have just impaled it.
Yeah, that cops would have been really proud of me. Good job, you had your trophy.
I can't believe you didn't keep that deer. Crazy.
I tried to call you. You didn't answer.
Is your guy coming?
I'm waiting. I sent a message. I don't know. We'll see.
You
hit your wall.
No, I'm excited to
hit the nasal wall.
The nasal cavity.
The nasal cavity.
I'm excited for this year. I'm excited specifically with the venue that I'm hoping works out for us and how we can lay that out and use that space.
My basement?
No, we can't fit enough people in your basement.
Don't worry.
Not.
No. Don't worry.
But I think it'll be cool.
My backyard, though, we can just
pretty much
take out the whole fucking backyard. Crazy.
No.
What
do you guys think, Adam? What do you think of broadcasting the event itself?
I think it's a bad idea.
We
So
wouldn't be responsible
Okay, so
for
we're
this.
not
We would bring in a
broadcasting
third
an
party.
event.
No, you
no,
wouldn't
no.
need to bring in a third party.
No.
So here's how you would do it. You would have,
You can only do like
since we'll have
shots of all the weed. We have to do like a good media style coverage of it, but not the event itself.
all we would do is we
No
would set
camera.
up
We-
three
same rules.
ports.
Same rules. Stay with the same rules.
Same rules.
Three
no
ports
cameras.
around the house.
Okay, we're
Three
staying with
events.
the same rules.
Same rules.
Same
Look,
rules.
we wouldn't have to do anything.
Should we have our own video guy or camera guy there?
No, if you would listen to me, I'd
We're
solve this
not.
problem in 3 seconds. We make 3 different events or 4 different events. and we each get, whether it's one laptop or some sort of device that we can connect to the live stream from, each one of those can broadcast on its own individual event under the Adam Dunn Show page. We'll label each one as Smoking Room 1, Judge's Room, Smoking Room 2, and people can literally go on and click which event they want to see. There's not going to be any, you're not going to hear anything other than people talking and things like that, but you can watch the event go down. But you think that we're going to sit there and be like, oh, well,
no,
AJ's breaking into the 10 of spades here. Well, let's see how he likes it.
No, we're not.
AJ's really been around for a long time, hailing from New York. He's actually
Yes, that's the vision of one.
That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do.
NFL.
That's what he wants to
No.
do. And watch
No.
that bud breaking up slow motion. The crowd.
Yes.
There was a few tense moments that would have been pretty awesome, but then only for us, not for the people watching maybe. But
Well,
at the same time,
that's what I'm saying. For
you have to
people
be in
who
the
want to
room
be
for the
there, who
tension.
aren't there,
No,
sorry.
We could do one. We could have one guy with like 15 GoPros on his head, and he could just walk
Some
around.
asshole's
and
gonna
then-
periscope the whole thing.
and then everybody exactly. No, that's where the phone thing.
Oh, that's
where it gets scary because all these little periscope motherfuckers will be all.
That's the sound they make?
Yeah, they do that. That's cool. All of them. That's the problem. You'll hear.
Is that the
who's that guy in that
the
corner?
Twitter thing? Periscope. That's like the Twitter video thing, right?
It's just a
video thing.
But it's owned by Twitter, though. I think it's owned by
Maybe they bought them. Yeah,
could have bought it. Yeah,
it is.
Anyway, hashtag ADSI 2016 with your pictures of your butt if you want
What's
to.
a hashtag?
Don't worry about it. You can't enter. They don't do hash.
Oh, what's a hashtag?
Yeah, don't worry. It only works for flowers. You don't need to know about it. Hashtag ADSI 2016.
Flower. No, the thing is, if we do anything, it's gonna be you have to have flowers. You can't just come in with a solvent. There's no way. You're gonna do that.
Why?
Why? Why? Because who the fuck are you? Did
do
you
you
grow
mean?
that thing? Where did you get that?
What do you
From
mean?
some guy.
Who cares where you? As long as you got the product.
We
from-
all care because everybody there is
But
producing
it's
their
there
own
for
product.
hash, though, so it's there to see who can make good
No.
hash. It
No.
doesn't
It's a
matter.
No,
It's a different kind
it's
of-
soil to oil. It's a soil to oil mentality, and it's, we're not thinking like
Seed to weed.
Come on, seed to weed, soil to oil.
Well, maybe I'll get a little plan or two going. And
What are you gonna do? You're gonna do the kid thing and collab on like their first gig.
no, I'll
That's a kid. That's a
couple
kid.
plants going, and I'll
Okay,
harvest
there.
by that time. I'll bring some
That's
flour and
what
I'll
we're
bring
talking
some
about.
rosin.
That's what we're talking about.
All right.
And then you're the man.
Let's do it.
That's how
You'd
you
have
can
a
be.
press
Then you can be a
there.
real
That'd be
champ.
pretty sweet.
Now, can I do that? Can
course
I
you
bring
can.
my press and we
Yes.
can press everything and anything?
Yeah.
I mean, like not everything. We're gonna need it for other stuff.
Every loser goes "Brr," right there. Boom. Press it.
Yeah, once something's double eliminated, press it on the spot.
We're doing
Smash the trash. We just smash the trash right in front of this guy.
half ounces of flour squishes at that time right now. So
The rest of their jar.
Yeah.
done.
It's
Yeah, squish.
eliminated.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm getting
You'll
excited
have-
to have our meeting.
you'll
And
have
then,
been
that's what it should be.
eliminated.
If you get eliminated, you should get squished
Yeah.
and go into the rosin category, and then see how your rosin goes up against the other loser's rosin.
That's a good one.
And who cares about yield? It's just
But we have to do
flavor.
flour too. We can't do all of it.
No, just the flour. And if you're a loser, if you get knocked out,
Second loser. You can't be the first round loser. You have to be like a third. Like, once,
right, like knocked out of the
You're
competition.
totally
You're done
not-
Once
and out
you're
of the
double
competition.
eliminated.
You get squished,
Yeah.
and you go into the rosin category.
Yeah.
And then if your rosin wins, then
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, hey,
You don't get an award. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
yeah, it's just like
No.
nice. You're
We'll
flour.
make something on
Well, I'll
paper.
we'll give you a high five. Well, I'll give
You
you a
get to
high
keep
five.
your rosin, you
Yeah.
know, and the rest of it.
You get everyone else's rosin. Woo.
Yeah, you got to
You
keep
get
all
the rosin.
all the
It's
rosin
all or
if you
none.
win.
All right, I'm ready to wrap it up.
It was a good idea.
You ready to wrap it up?
Wrapping it
Is
up?
your guy calling?
No.
Nah,
I don't think
you ain't
so.
gonna call.
Is that
Joe Pesci?
Is that Joe Pesci or Regis Phil? Now I don't know who you're trying to do because you obviously haven't.
Yeah,
really-
there's a big difference. Like Joe Pesci is like you got to be right up close to the mic, but like Regis is like more nasally and farther away. Like Regis is permanently off the mic. But Joe Pesci, he's up close and personal. But Regis, he's back here. You gotta be a little bit farther away to be Regis. If you get close with Regis, it's not as good. It sounds better when it's back here. It just sounds like Regis is always off camera. You never know.
And what about Morgan Freeman?
Morgan has to be very, very close to the microphone to make it even somewhat effective. All right, wrap up your show.
That was a very good.
Come
combo.
on,
You did pretty good on those three.
Yeah, let's do it.
You did
Let's
pretty
make it
good.
happen.
Pretty good explanation.
It's done.
You should have a school for ventriloquists. And,
I'm not a ventriloquist. I can't speak with my mouth closed. However,
I bet you
badass.
I bet you could.
I can't. I've tried.
Have you tried since you've been in older? In
Yes.
adults?
Like, yeah, you can't
when you have a
do
little
it.
more mouth control.
You can't know. It's a little bit easier, but
Try
like,
when I was 3.
you can't say words that require p and b.
You got to do a D instead of a B.
But then it sounds like you're mentally challenged.
That's the word.
The toy thought the basket
It's like, what the fuck are you saying? So yeah, I've tried ventriloquism.
It didn't work.
Have you seen it since you saw that episode of Doug? Or was that the last time?
Oh my
you tried?
god, that's right.
That's where you got the Doy Dot
episode.
Yeah, so that's holy
what?
shit. I probably haven't seen that in
Buck Russell
fucking
wants you to do
15
Frenchie now.
15 years.
Go back to Paris.
France. I had a French roommate, dude. Everything he said, like, oh, come back get some Grey Goose. I come home, I have crepes for breakfast.
he did say that. He did. Everything.
Crepes.
He was super French.
It's just really thin pancake. Crepes.
We do have a. He's ready. He's ready.
He's great. We were just going to end the show, and now we're going to bring on a new
We have a
guest.
public service announcement.
The public service announcement usually only lasts like 4.5 minutes is the cutoff.
That's pretty much what we got, right?
All right, let's make it happen.
All right, take the lead, Adam. You got this.
I'm telling him to call in right now. So basically,
Adam, take the lead.
it's an old friend of mine. It's an old friend of mine.
You heard that terrible
Let
song?
Adam do a show.
And he had some issues that popped up, and he thought that we should know. So here he is. Boom. Answer it.
What if I want to answer it?
Just answer it. Yo, Andy, what's going down?
Hey, Adam, what's going on, old friend? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. So basically, we don't have much time because, like I told you, our time kind of ran out. So we only got like 5 minutes. But I just wanted to, as a public service announcement, I figured you would want to kind of jump on and tell some people some things. And then, I was starting to give the intro. But basically, we're friends from back in the mid-'90s. You don't like that?
Dude, hold on, Andy. We're not laughing at you. I'm sorry. I just found out that Adam has a little... Oh, he's got weed. Okay. He has a little minion from Despicable Me on the back of his phone, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
All right, stop.
Sorry,
He got so sidetracked
track
by that.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so me and Andy, we knew each other from back in Amsterdam, and you were responsible for getting me the Gravity, which... in the long run, I couldn't hang on to it either. It was like one of those strains, those elusive strains. You can't keep up to it.
Yeah, she died.
But big yielder, and it was a good. I mean, it was. And you got it from Neville directly, or you got it from who'd you get it from?
I did. I got it from Neville directly in '99,
Yeah.
and that was when all the old schoolers were still around before. That was pre Ariana at the Greenhouse.
Yeah, well, it was right around his very beginning, I guess, when he was doing
right,
stuff.
exactly when the switchover was happening. So
yeah,
yep.
But so you're now back to the stateside, and you've been all over. Definitely, I can't even get into the antics that we know each other from. So that's another episode. That could be an episode or two. And whenever
that could be a couple.
whenever you feel like delving into some of those stories, we'll do a longer episode at some point. But. In the meantime, you're now doing some work stateside, and with tell us who you're working with and what you're doing, just so we can, and then tell us this public service announcement you got real quick.
Sure. Well, basically, I'm working with Reefer Man to get some new strains out to guys. He's been down for a couple of years and needed a hand to get things moving. So we're going to be coming out with some stuff. Thank you, by the way, Adam, for contributing one of the best nails that we have in our collection from back in the early 90s.
That's funny.
And
it was the OG 13B, actually, because when you put it in, I was like, what the hell is that? Oh, yeah, the OG 13B fucking...
Yep. That's the father for our strain called Wakeford, named after Jim Wakeford, the first cannabis station in Canada, and it's gnarly. It's hella strong. Probably it's too strong for most people, but that's kind of the way we like it. We always have. That's how we do.
Oh,
but
yeah. Another side fact is that Andy won my Trichrome Challenge back in the day. You were one of the few.
Wow.
He was. I dubbed him Bongzilla at that time, so he's kept that for.
I have the tattoo Zilla on my back to prove it. That's still my nickname to this day. Thank you, Adam. You gave me a lifelong moniker, so I appreciate that.
One of those nicknames. Yeah, the kid is over here. I didn't do that though.
But you helped make it.
I helped shape
it.
I shaped yours. I didn't.
So
really
you got to get
it
it tattooed on your back. That is my main point.
Oh.
Pretty much, you need it. You need to join the club. So okay, keep going. Sorry, I just want to throw that in there. While we had time.
Yeah. So anyway, the bad news I have, and that was more of a warning for everybody to know, is that the guy who runs we have the International Cannabis Business Town up in February in San Francisco, and the guy who runs it, his name is Alex Rogers. He is he basically was caught 9 years ago smuggling hash for a couple of owners of coffee shops over there. Barney's and Amnesia. I'm sure we know who we're talking about. And he snitched them out in order to avoid jail time. And he's been basically just kind of swindling people in the industry ever since. He doesn't participate in any kind of growing or seed production or any cannabis related things other than little conferences of getting people together. And he's a dangerous person to be around and a shady character. And so I just thought I'd let everybody know that, dealing with a guy like that can cause some serious problems in the long run, and to be safe, if you're going to be at that conference, to watch out for that guy.
And did you? The guy was running it. Right? Watch out for the guy running the conference.
We got a couple ways of dealing with rats.
But wasn't didn't you tell me Arian was going to be speaking at that conference?
Yeah, he's supposed to be speaking, although I just got an email from him today that he'll be contacting me in the next couple of days, so I'm not sure exactly what his plans are, but it's not until February, maybe second week in February, I believe, so there's still time for people to, make their decision on, however they want to take it. But how we say in this industry, once a snitch, always a snitch. So
right, and did you mention that he actually snitched you out a little bit recently or something like that? So tried to. At least it didn't really matter because you guys are just doing stuff there.
Yeah, he tried to train wreck a few things, a project that I was working on, but luckily I've known the kid since high school, unfortunately, and he really hasn't changed his stripes. I kind of caught him up in his own game. He was trying to play good guy, bad guy with me, and I cut that off before that could cause me any problems. So, no worries there.
Right. Well, I mean, it's funny because back in the day, we didn't have to do this on like a podcast. It was just kind of normal thing that we actually have to just, the word would go around and boom, that shit would happen. But now everybody's kind of like doesn't really see sometimes the bigger picture. They're just looking at the money, or they get a deal, they get a free booth or whatever it is, and they go to these shows, and some of the shows are, they just aren't really for the right. You can tell right away. You can see like, oh, this is definitely either they don't know the vendors are getting ripped off, which is usually that's the main thing. If the vendors are happy, I feel it's a good show, and if the vendors aren't happy, then it turns out that those people are usually douchebags, and that's kind of where it all kind of comes out pretty quickly.
That's right.
And being a vendor at all these events, I kind of like see the writing on the wall. A lot of times you're like, well, this ain't gonna fucking ever happen again, is it? You know what I mean? Because if the vendors aren't happy, it doesn't even matter if it's not their biggest money maker up front. It's their bread and butter in the long run because they don't have nothing without them. So.
Absolutely. And we can't have a guy like that running the show. He's got a lot of guest speakers that are very important. He has he's people in Amsterdam speaking for him. He's got a couple of people in the Bay Area speaking, and like you said, he has Ariane scheduled to speak. I don't know the whole list off the top of my head, but needless to say, it's his biggest show of the year. It's expensive to go there. He tries to dress it up and make it look like it's this big event for the family cause, as we say, but he definitely has no interest in anything but himself, and he's willing to cut everybody short and do for himself without any regards for other people's well-being. And so, like I said, once I had talked to Derry and Cece and found out about what he actually did, I found it to be my duty to let everyone know exactly what the score is, so they were, at least people that can make their own decision about what they think about a guy like that.
Yeah, no, definitely, it's good to get the word out. That's how we can figure out these things and let them. It's kind of like telling people, if you don't like something, just don't fucking buy it. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, these things will go away, and we'll have quality product. We'll have quality shows. That's why we love the Emerald Cup. It was such a good show. Good. All the vendors were happy. Super happy, to the point where it's like, okay, that's a good event. People are gonna that will thrive.
So the fact that there was so much contaminated at that event didn't make it a more negative event for you because there was so much.
No, it's that they actually tested for it. Was the point? That was the key.
Yeah, you didn't get any of the bad stuff.
Exactly.
We were in the top 50 category that didn't have any. We were testing it, so we didn't have to worry about that. But in general, just the fact that they test. I mean, imagine if they didn't test, we were all like, oh yeah, great. Well, we would have probably spotted most of it, but there'd be a good 3 to 5% that slips through the cracks, and some people don't see it, especially in hash. They just kind of they don't see it till they taste it, and go, that tasted a little funny, and
just like chalice.
Yeah,
I pointed out a bunch, and you guys were like, "No,
nah."
It was,
Well, cool. So we'll hopefully see you on this side over here, and we were talking earlier about the ADSI, about the Adam Dunn Show Invitational that goes on this round 420. So make sure you're here. Get your entry ready. Start getting ready. If you want to get back in the game,
on.
Tell Charles if he wants to get back in the game, he's going to have to win at least one ADSI, right?
Oh yeah. I've been just coming back myself from a traumatic brain injury I suffered a few years back, and so I'm getting back on my own feet. And but all the good friends like you and Charles and some other guys, and so with a little help from my friends, I'll be back and in full stride this spring. And so look for Uncle Andy out there. He'll be ready to go. Or the old heads know me as Bongzilla. Thank you, Adam. It's still my favorite nickname I've ever had, which I have you. So.
Oops. All right, man. Talk to you soon, Andy, and we'll see you on this side, hopefully.
Yeah, no doubt. See you soon. Take care.
All right, peace.
Peace.
So there you go. A little public service announcement. Adam Dunn Show.
PSA.
Stay away.
PSA. All right, personal shout-outs.
Personal shout-outs.
Do it.
Kid, go.
Me first?
Champ,
yeah.
Go.
Shout outs to Brittany and Pups holding down the upstairs, making sure that
cleaning your belt. She's shining the belt right now.
No, my belt is destroyed. But she did clean out like all the drawers and like organize our bedroom today, which is pretty cool. So shouts for that.
Shout outs to my bedroom.
Everybody down at Dark Horse, Tanner, Jason, Colin, AU Extracts, all those guys. The people over at Kind Love getting some fire drops.
Shout out your next collabos.
I can't do that yet.
Can't announce it.
I can't announce it yet.
NDAs.
It's not. Well, no, it's just not necessarily done yet. And then shout outs also to Dave from Gold Coast Genetics for helping out with some cool plate ideas. I have a new set of plates coming in that I'm planning on just using for myself.
Fancy China.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's not from China. So shout outs to Dave for helping me come up with some cool plate ideas to be able to use on my press so that we can make things more efficient. So thanks.
Thank you.
No, shout out to the snakes.
All the snakes in the grass. That's a lot of fucking shout outs right there, man. You just covered a huge swath. Shout out to my beautiful wife Cece, who's down in Boulder with Nick at the swimming pool.
We're in Boulder. You don't have to say down in Boulder.
She's in Boulder, no.
We're in Boulder.
She's in Boulder.
We're in Boulder, so she's not down anywhere. She's here in Boulder.
Whatever, dude. Oh. I'm talking out there. She's down in Boulder.
She's out. She's everywhere.
She's out there, bro. She's down in Boulder with Nick right now, swimming, having fun.
Where are they swimming? Indoor?
Yeah. Yes, sir. No, they just went.
Can I live to the year 3000?
dude, I asked Brittany the other day if there was any possible chance I could live to the year 3000. I was so fucking high. But like I meant to say the year 2100, and then I was like, oh yeah, man, I'd only be
2100 even come up
like
close.
I'd only be like 111. That's possible these days in Madison. She goes, Ryan, the year 3000, dude? No. And I forgot my own birthday the other day. She like told me my birthday.
Maybe
was
chill on the
Maybe you
day.
are 3000. Maybe you really are 3000 years old.
Think about what my birthday was. Shit.
Well, thank you very
Popcorn
much for that
brain.
one.
Keep
Yeah,
vaping.
you got popcorn lung and popcorn brain now from your fucking candy flavored bullshit you're smoking.
Man, good stuff.
Shout out to little Nick down in there swimming in the
Down in Boulder.
In the creek.
Boulder Creek swimming. Exactly. He's just going down. I let him go down the
Have
creek.
I ever told you the first time I saw that his name was NYC?
What the fuck?
It's about his
He's
son's
Paul
house.
Schaefer over here, right?
We were at your old house, and the door said, like, make
Yeah.
sure to lock door. NYC can open doors. And I had to sit there and be like, what the fuck does this mean? And then it wasn't until, like, 5 days later that I found out that Nick was indeed NYC. And I was like, oh, the door! It makes sense.
Mouse House.
It's Mouse House.
Mouse
So
House.
Shout out to Nick Swimming.
Shout out to Nick's Mouse House. Shout out to Ace down at the farm. And basically me holding it down with her at this point. It seems
Shouts to me.
Shouts to me holding it down with my mom. No, but pretty much, yeah. Hard to get good work over the fucking holidays, let me tell you.
People with their families, whinies.
Whiny ass bitches want to go to their families. What the
Hey, you
fuck?
never asked me. I spent Christmas alone.
Oh, stop.
All by myself.
You would have had to bring it anyway, though. It would have turned into a mess.
No, I think it's here.
It would have been turned into a mess for you. This whole place would have been
they're
destroyed.
good. They're
Came
good.
back.
All right.
All right, you can do a shout
Go
out.
do
I
your
guess.
shout-outs.
No, you can.
Finish. You got all the farm?
Farm's done. I'm
Just
done.
you.
I just knew me and the farm. Me, farm, Ace.
All right.
That's it. That's how I spent my Christmas. It was just us. It was like us. Yes.
Shout out to Cyber Turkey.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Cyber
Cyber Turkey. Yes.
Shout out to the chat room. Shout out, of course, to my amazing wife, Reese, and little kiddo Farron, and my brother, Carl, who lands tonight. I'm just gonna
Oh,
leave my
your
house
bro's
for
back.
Kyle.
Carl.
Kyle.
Yeah, sure. Kyle.
Carl.
Carl. He's
Kyle.
back. He's back.
Did you meet Carl?
No. Oh, he's the other one I haven't met.
Yeah.
Carl
little
Shanaz.
Tourette's.
He's the explosive one. Yeah, he's one that we have to keep.
Carl.
He's not explosive. Carl Shanaz.
He's an explosive. Ah! Does he go like
No.
that all the time?
No.
No. Dude,
Oh,
fuck you,
nice,
fucking-
dude. What are you doing?
What?
Adam has no respect for anyone. Before the show, Ryan goes, "Your brother really has Tourette's?" Wow. Yeah, I don't think it's funny when people make fun of it. That's really fucked up. It's like, he's the explosive one.
Is that what he does? Does he just, No, I don't think so.
All right, chat room. We'll see you next week.
Chat man.
And we'll keep you updated on the new format and
That's a
times
good name
and
for a
hashtag
chat room. Chat man.
ADSI
Chat
2016. Chat man do.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace.
Chat man do.